Well, I think it's time to get cracking, isn't it? Hello, everybody. I guess this is the return of the pre-show now I've worked out. You can actually hear me before the live stream kicks off properly. I'm Mark Griffiths. I'll be joined by Andy Morrell and Mia Roberts soon, but they're down on the sides of the pitch doing their stuff for Wrexham's YouTube channel, of course, the Matchday Live, which you can have a look at now. Please send in your Ask Wrexham tweets if you have any questions or queries. I've just had a shock because I went into the fan zone because Bank Street Coffee's there. Oh, it's good stuff. And I thought, I've got enough time, I'll wander in there. I had a shock when I realised that they played the Matchday Live on the big screen, so I was trying to get pictures of Mia and Andy with this big crowd watching. And then all of a sudden I heard my voice. They were playing the highlights from the last match. This was slightly alarming for me for the simple reason that I didn't think I was very good in the last match because I couldn't see stuff because of the fog. I didn't really see Blackpool's goal. I only knew it was a goal because their fans made a lot of noise, naturally. And I couldn't see Mullins' goal that well. I saw it go in, don't get me wrong. I saw him hit it. But I actually thought it was Rathbone. And I'm glad I didn't commit and say Rathbone. I didn't go quite as crazy as I would have done if I was certain it was Mullin who scored it. I silently mouthed to Mia, was that Mullin? Because I love Rathbone, but I didn't really think he could do that. Anyway, yeah. So standing there while I was treading water in the commentary, listening to it booming out in the fan zone. Embarrassing. So I promise I'll try and do a good job today. Had some good news already, of course. Stockport have dropped 2 points. They are fifth, or they were fifth. I assume they still are, with not many games being played early. But, after the Boxing Day win, looking at the table, the top four looked like they may be just pulling away from the rest. Stockport were the best of the rest. And if they've dropped 2 points, well, it leaves it open for Wrexham to go even further in terms of pulling away from them. That would not be bad at all, would it, eh? Let's be honest. Most people pre-season were saying they'd be happy with mid-table. As if a football fan is ever happy with mid-table. But yeah, with it going like this, if we were to be told we'd be in a position in the last game of 2024 to actually put a little bit of distance between us and fifth place and leave us in a really nice spot in terms of fighting in the second half of the season for the playoff places, I think anybody, including the gaffer himself, would have bitten your arm off. This is going ever so well. We just need to keep this momentum going, don't we? I'm just trying to get the league table up to see exactly what's going on today. Okay, live scores, that's better. I'm commentating on me navigating through. Said, oh, hello, better news, Charlton beat Wickham. Hello, mother. So, Stockport dropped 2 points, Wickham dropped 3 points. Of course, all that is absolutely meaningless if we can't do the job today against Wigan, who have a good away record and recently have come up with some very nice away results, not least winning 3-0 at Bolton. But yeah, at the moment, we are 8 points ahead of Stockport with a game in hand today. And we are 12 points ahead of Charlton, who are in the first spot outside the playoffs. That's very nice. A win today, and the worst we would be second, as Wickham have lost and they're 2 points ahead of us. Don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but the morning results have been terrific for Wrexham, and now it's our turn to do our part of the job. It's Wrexham against Wigan Athletic here, with me, Mark Griffiths, Andy Morrell and Mia Roberts, who will be up joining us shortly from pitchside. The team news is interesting from Wrexham's point of view on the bench, because the bench contains two players that, well, all Wrexham fans will be thrilled to see back in the matchday squad. Elliot Lee, after going off injured at Bristol Rovers, and Arthur Okonkwo, after breaking his wrist against Mansfield Town. Well, he's back in the squad, certainly ahead of schedule. Brilliant stuff for Wrexham to have those two players available for us again. Looking through that Wrexham side, we have got Mark Howard in goal. The three central defenders, Max Cleworth and Owen O'Connell and Lewis Brunt from right to left. On the right-hand side, Ryan Barnett. On the left-hand side, James McLean, against the club he signed for Wrexham. In fact, he signed the day before we played Wigan last season in the Carabao Cup. And we didn't select him. We won that game on penalties, of course. In midfield, there's the one change from the side that won on Boxing Day. Andy Cannon is on the bench, and instead of him, George Dobson is in midfield alongside Matty James and Ollie Rathbone, and Paul Mullin, fresh from that magnificent strike on Boxing Day, is up front with Ollie Palmer. And that bench for Wrexham, as I said, features Okonkwo and Lee and Cannon, and also Seb Revan, Dan Scarr, Mo Farl, and the man who scored the winner against Blackpool, Stephen Fletcher, from the penalty. Could you hear the inverted commas around the word penalty there? Because let's be honest, it was certainly not a penalty. But, you know, maybe that's the best way to beat a side that has had all sorts of ways to beat us over the years. Blackpool always used to be a bit of a bogey team. So, hey, beating with a penalty that never was, kind of satisfying in a cruel way. As for Wigan, like I said, they're on a 3-game unbeaten run, which includes 2 very good away victories. They're an emphatic win at Bolton Wanderers, and then also won 1-0 at Rotherham United. Now, Sean Maloney, their manager, and of course legendary player for them, had made it clear a couple of games ago that he was likely to rotate his team a bit through the festive period, and he has made 2 changes, but mostly it's the side that won at Rotherham. So Sam Tickle, one of the best young goalkeepers in the country, is in goal for them. He's a proper quality player of him. Okonkwo, this division, well, the goalkeeping figures are sort of dominated by those two, and of course by the Bristol Rovers keeper Josh Griffiths. 3 very high quality young goalies. The back 4 remains the same for Wigan. So Toby Sibic is a Ugandan international, and he's right back. The left back is Stephen Sessegnon. The centre backs, Jason Kerr and Will Aimson. There's a change in midfield. One Smith for another. Scott Smith, Welsh under-19 international in the past, comes in. An ex-Wrexham player on the right-hand side, Johnny Smith. On the left, coming in as well on loan from Brentford, is Michael Olakigbe. In the middle of midfield, Baba Adiko and Taylor Asgard. And up front is Dale Taylor. The subs for them: Tom Watson is their inexperienced sub-keeper. Jensen Weir, Joe Hugill on loan from Man United, Luke Robinson, Callum McManaman, there's a player with plenty of experience, James Carragher, son of Jamie Carragher, who of course played against us a couple of years ago on loan for Oldham, and Silko Thomas. You know what? If I could change one thing in my life, it would be for my first name to be Silko. I don't know, I just feel like everything would be great then. Everything else has fallen into place. And if I had that first name, man, I'd feel good. Anyway, Mia and Andy are back up now from their run on the sides of the pitch on YouTube. I've got to tell you both that I was excited to wander into the fan zone for a coffee and find you two guys on the big screen with a big adoring crowd enjoying your wisdom. And I tried to take a photo, but they cut straight to some graphics and then the highlights of the match, which meant that my worst commentary of the season, when I couldn't see the pitch properly, was booming out across the fan zone. Oh, the shame. It was awful.
Yeah, that's the best part of it, that, when we're not on, right, Mia?
And of course, me down in Bamford Suite, I did the interview with a past player, which was your dad. And yeah, fair play. He did a good job, but don't worry, I did introduce him as being best known for being your dad. So we got a bit of context in there. Well, we're changing ends, which has not pleased the Wrexham fans and the Stoke Cold Brew Coffee ends. As Wrexham with that one change, not a huge surprise. I mean, Cannon's often brought off early in games anyway. There's a tight sort of programme of matches coming up, and of course Dobson's been high quality all season for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I've also saw a graphic that he only touched the ball 31 times in the game on Boxing Day, but as we were talking about it, sometimes the game happens like that, and it was all down McLean's side. Most of the game, the diags from O'Connell were down that side, so it just so happened that he wasn't in, didn't get many touches, didn't get the opportunity to.
That's right, as Wrexham get things underway. I mean, Steve Parkin after the match said that we tried to even out our approach in the second half because we'd focused so much on the McLean's flank in the first. As here we are with Wigan's first opportunity to go forwards using the pace of Kick Bay. It's a hell of a tackle that by Cleworth. The ball just rolled across him and I didn't think he'd be able to reach that. Throw to Wigan, level the edge of the area. And the ball just sort of faded away from Cleworth. It looked to be his ball. Then suddenly it was the wrong side of Kick Bay. And to make a clean tackle like that was an indication just how good Cleworth is. Anyway, here's a chance now for a long throw-in by Wigan. Slung in towards the near post and headed away by Palmer. Rathbone helps it on and Mullen gets his head down and sprints, looking to get there first, but it'll be launched clear by Sibic. Underneath it is Brunt, who heads it into midfield. Got underneath it a bit, well won by James, but it'll come back at Wrexham now as Dale Taylor's given space to turn. A lively start this by Wigan. Now they're probing down the right with the ex-Wrexham winger Johnny Smith. He pulls it back. Sibic's cross is well blocked by Rathbone and falls kindly. And Rathbone immediately, instinctively, looks to stab one down the line for Mullen. Rolls out of play, but it's still quick thinking by Rathbone.
Yeah, you can see what he's trying to do. Paul Mullen straight away, as soon as Rathbone wins that ball, gets his head down and starts running, but just doesn't quite get that ball right.
It's the level of players we've been able to bring in over the last couple of years. It's just great to see that quick decision making, isn't it? The moment Rathbone blocks it, Mullen's thinking he'll play that ball for me. Rathbone's thinking he'll make that run for me. As now in midfield, Wrexham win the ball back, bit of an air shot, and a great ball over to the right hand side. Says Barnett driving into the box, stands up the cross. It's well blocked up. Sessegnon did well to get there. Now he's got a chance to bring it clear, and he keeps cool under pressure, and then tries to switch play. Brunt read it well. Nice little cushion volley to McLean too. Cross towards Palmer, and again Sessegnon is there. Dobson scrapping in midfield, fouls his man. Free kick given by Tom Wheels. But yeah, a chance to get one on Palmer's head then, just under hit, but bright start by both teams.
Yeah, I didn't think Palmer really read it. I didn't think McLean was going to put it in, but he decided out his feet and put it in because only Palmer was in there, but he just sort of stood at the back post, didn't really make a run, and so it was fairly easy to clear.
Here's Wigan again. They have certainly not come here to park the bus as Sessegnon works it wide. Another chance for Kick Bay to test the Wrexham defence. Barnett is forcing him round the outside, but Kick Bay gets a cross in towards the far post. McLean does well to get there and heads it out for a throw. Just missed hitting the flag. But they're showing a eagerness to get the ball down wide already, Wigan. And Kick Bay's pace is clearly going to be a real weapon for them. As now here's Sibic with the throw. Sessegnon it was who had the long throw on the left-hand side. Sibic now steps up and throws it towards the edge of 6-yard box. Palmer makes a good clearance. Brunt only partly away though. Wigan spread it. Poor pass that to Kick Bay by Osgard. And Wrexham had the throw.
Well, looking at the two formations, 4-1-4-1 for Wigan, it's going to be a cat and mouse time out here for Barnett and McLean because Johnny Smith is cheating. He's going to stay high and wide for Wigan. And it's one of those, do I stay and protect, or do I go and be brave and hope that Cleworth and Brunt, they're going to be able to cover if needs be?
Good quick throw by Barnett, finds Palmer, puts the cross in, but that's too early. Nobody was in the box to attack it. But yeah, fascinating. Of course, Johnny Smith is a very talented player, a player that Wrexham were very sad to let go. And your point, Andy, being illustrated even now with the ball in the keeper's hands, where he's pushed up and Brunt's got to pick him in because McLean is stepping up deep into Wigan's half. Ball goes the other direction. Well won by Cleworth, throw on the halfway line. Wigan asking questions already. Here is Sessignon, the highly talented left back. I mean, he's a heck of a player. His pedigree to be playing in League One as the ball's not long through the middle. Brunt wins that well in the air, but it's won well back by Osgaard. On the kick bay now, left-hand side, another chance to cross. Wigan very on the front foot. He feeds it inside, one, and it's cleared off the line. Looked like an open goal tap-in. Somehow, it was dug out by O'Connell, I think, right under the bar, but that was a real let-off. And now here Wigan again. Osgaard sidesteps past Palmer, 25 yards out on his right foot, then changes direction. Dobson does well to force him wide on the kick bay. Running at his man once more, and again Barnett can't stop him getting the cross in. It's a good one, but Cleworth deals with it well. Can Wrexham break? Mullins making a run. Dobson plays it, but it was strong defending by Kerr to knock Mullin off his balance. Cleworth with a good tackle, but again the loose ball falls for Wigan. A deco trying to play it in. James blocks it, and now here's Sibic. Terrific pressure this from Wigan. There's a little movement inside by Scott Smith. He doesn't use him, and Wigan go back to the halfway line. They are asking questions of Wrexham here, and that was a heck of a clearance off the line as Sessignon tries to be cute. Dobson catches him in possession. O'Connell chipping long for Palmer. Mullins looking to run off him, but he's beaten in the air, and the ball is back with Cleworth once more. All action start, a really stretched game as well. James tries to hook the ball onto Palmer's head. Lovely ball. Palmer takes it on the chest. Mullin wanted to take over. I think Palmer was letting him, but didn't get his foot out the way in time and essentially tackled Mullin as he was lining up a shot. Whew. Not 200 miles an hour, there's. But fair play to Wigan. They've come here looking to ask questions. Tickle with the long kick. Brunt underneath that has time to bring it down nicely. Wigan's back line just stepping up quickly before another ball in for Mullin could be played. O'Connell looks for one of those diagonals, plays it beautifully, but Barnett's offside. Wrexham aren't happy with that decision, but wow, it's a heck of a fast start.
Yeah, and just going back to that Wigan chance, it was actually really good defending by Lewis Brunt in the middle. Just keeps his eye on the ball rather than his man, who's actually made a good run. I think it was Dale Taylor in the middle. And the cross doesn't find him, luckily, but got through us very easily there.
Here's Palmer now picking the ball up in the corner of the box. Tries the chip and doesn't get it right. Goes comfortably wide to the far post. So yeah, Wigan know, recognising sit off us, and we'll find a goal eventually, but they're coming at us and causing issues, and Adekigbe's pace on the left clearly is something they're going to look to exploit. Tickle with the goal kick then. He's got short options, and so that has drawn Palmer and Mullin up to the edge of the box. Taylor standing almost on the edge of Wrexham's area. The ball's hit towards him. O'Connell gets underneath it rather, so Taylor can head it back in midfield, but James helps it on further into the Wigan half. Barnett now looking for Mullin. Difficult one to take. He's battling away. Barnett's done really well. He takes it on, bursts past Sessignon, but it was an awkward bounce. Couldn't take it with him.
Yeah, it was unlucky as well. The ball before O'Connell into Palmer. Palmer's chest did really well to control it, and I thought he was going to shoot, but Mullin's coming in on his left. Little bit of zero communication between them, and the chance goes past, but really good ball in.
McLean is onto this pass out by the keeper, but Sibic just gets there first. Feeds it back to the corner flag, and has it gone out of play? No, the fans think it has. Ref gives Wrexham a throw further back on the pitch now, although it looked like it might have been a foul and a free kick to Wigan, to be honest. Anyway, Wrexham have worked it back into their own half. Wigan come out to play. They are really, like I said, looking to pressure us in our own half. And in the end, it's Howard going long for Palmer. Too strong that, all the way through to the keeper Tickle.
Well, if they've watched us on Boxing Day, they'll know that O'Connell was was the quarterback and he was the passer that Hughes got the ball, and he was getting McLean high, he was getting Barnett high and getting them on the ball. So they've got Dale Taylor right up on him to stop him getting it, and they're going the 2 wide ones as well, out of possession. They're going right in on Cleworth and Brunt and asking them, are you going to defend us 1-for-1? Going to be really intriguing to see.
It certainly is, as they work the ball wide. Well, it's Wrexham trying to track back. Rathbone doing a defensive job, does it well too. Gets a tackle in on Johnny Smith. Throw in 10 yards out from the Wrexham goal, right hand side. Really fast start this by Wigan. We're in the 10th minute and they are showing exactly why they are... should be alright. Sorry about that, looks like we just dropped out there for a moment, but we appear to be connected back again. So, throw-in taken by Wigan, still 0-0, but the visitors certainly having the better of this. Rathbone pokes the ball partly away, but Sessegnon will pick it up on the left-hand side. He's got Barnett to beat. Cuts inside, rolls it into the edge of the area. Nice little turn. Return pass to Smith's a bit ambitious. And now stepped out on the edge of the area. Adiko working it wide. Smith tries to shape it in. And Brunt in the 6-yard box launches it away. Mullen trying to roll his man. Has he been obstructed? No, referee right to carry on. And a good piece of work by Palmer. He's not only won the header, he's chased it and is breaking down the left. Only Mullen has kept up with him. Palmer tries to feed it inside and is outnumbered. And Wigan can look to play from the back once more. That's a neat little pass to bring him out from the back by Johnny Smith. Gets a round of applause from the impressive fouling from Wigan. And now they can work down the left-hand side. They really look sharp. As Oscar now on the halfway line switches play. He may have been looking for Sibic, but it's rolled through to Smith, who can get a run at McLean now, and he accelerates towards him, checks out then onto his left foot, pulls it back. Sibic with a little bit of time in midfield. And Wigan just going to move it around. Kerr, Aimson, the 2 centre-backs, and then back to Tickle, who launches a huge kick. Johnny Smith, oh well, actually it's more central than I thought. Brunt will have to play this, and does well to find Cleworth, who gets it back to Howard. Really positive this from Wigan. Adiko then had a chance maybe to hit it from the edge of the box, didn't take it.
Yeah, Wigan are just being really brave. We've obviously got 2 strikers up the pitch, but they're happy 2 for 2. They're pushing the fullbacks in as well. So any second ball that comes out, they've started really well.
Here's a good interception by Brunstone. He finds McLean with a chance to run at his man. Drills it in the box. Palmer gets it edge of the area, tries to turn. Hell of a tackle that by Aimson. Stepped in tremendously and stopped him. And now again, Wigan can look to break with the deco. Feeling it wide to Johnny Smith. Just the stretch to keep it in, but he just about did. Adiko can't reach that in the middle of the pitch though, and here's Dobson in the centre circle. Frantic pace to this. Dobson looks left, doesn't like what he sees, and will go back to James. And now it's Brunt on the halfway line. Looks to feed Palmer. Good ball. Nice ball around the corner by Palmer. Mullen. Dobson now in the centre circle. McLean shouting for the switch. Dobson pulls it a bit, but McLean keeps it in. And now he can go back to Brunt. Wrexham with a little bit of possession, but again, Brunt goes the ambitious pass. Lovely switch for Barnett. Now, chance to take on Sessegnon. Delivers early to the far post, just too much on it. It could easily have gone in, but it bounces behind for the goal kick. First real pressure we put on them, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I think first time really we've kept the ball for a couple of minutes. Just a nice little passage of play from Wrexham. Really nice switch from Brunt. And Ryan Barnett, you think he does the step overs, you're just expecting that cross to land at the back post on someone's head, but just doesn't quite get hold of it right.
Well, all the kick on the left-hand side has got 2 crosses in when he's been up against Barnett so far, so nice to see Barnett likewise getting the ball in the box without Sessegnon being able to stop him, as here's Oscar in midfield, and that's good composed play. It's a brilliant ball out as well to Smith, who's got McLean retreating. McLean gets a foot to it, but then the pauses for a moment and is lucky that Smith latches onto it and has a heavy touch and puts it behind for the goal kick.
Well, we need to make those couple of passes in midfield to enable our wing-backs then to release and get high up the pitch. If it's played too quick, we're not able to get there because they're doing their jobs defensively because of the Wigan wide 2, really high and wide. They've got to keep an eye on that. They can't just go and release. But when you're making a couple of passes, that's when they can go, and then you've got big acres of space for them, especially on the switch, to get them involved.
Long kick, and again Aimson is good, beating Palmer in the air. O'Connell and James between them can't dispossess Taylor, who feeds it wide and is now available in the middle. Zolakipe again is running this time at Cleworth. Pulls it back to the edge of the area. Dobson just got a touch on that to force it wide, but it's retrieved on the right-hand side. And yeah, the impressive start by Wigan continues. Civic is going to go back to the halfway line to Kerr. And Wrexham can step out of their penalty area. It's empty in midfield, and the ball is played quickly into Sessegnon. Wigan being patient now, as Aimson now then drives over the halfway line. Ascot goes down off the bottom, poor ball. And O'Connell tried to hit Palmer. If he'd managed to hit him, it would have been 2-on-2, but for once his pass is off. So Wigan again start from the back. But you can see where that good away record for the Latics has come from, as the skipper Kerr just again slows things down. Space between the lines in the middle of the pitch for them, and they've worked it to the right hand side again. Adiko works it wide. Smith has got McLean isolated, uses pace. McLean stands firm. Good strength by McLean. And then Smith again is a little wasteful with the actual final ball. Throws to Wrexham.
Well, when the back two for Wigan have got the ball, it's the centre midfielder Scott Smith who's going and helping out. But then the rest of them are right up, 5 of them right up against R5 at the back, really pushing us back in and asking questions. And then any ball in and behind us, they're always looking. So the midfield 3, they haven't really got anybody to mark. They're just trying to blanket cover any passes in behind them and through them to stop the balls getting in, because if it does get through, then we're 1v1.
And it feels a bit to me like that means our midfield 3 is a little deeper than maybe they want to be. They're sort of reducing that space you can pass in behind them, and that gives Wigan the chance to have time to pick their passes. Here's Tickle now, who again gets terrific contact on his kick, and it's a decent one, but Cleworth is strong in the air and wins it. Ball's headed clear by Sessegnon. Barnett keeps it in. Adiko does really well to come back and make a challenge. Throw goes Wigan's way. Parkinson not impressed. The fourth official comes across to have words with him. Throw in just short of the halfway on left-hand side.
Well, I think that sort of sums up our first 16 minutes in this game. Just not quite as sharp as Wigan. Barnett there, I just don't know whether he didn't hear the shout that Alakvi was behind him. But just taking that little few extra seconds, whereas Wigan just look that little bit sharper on the ball.
Oh, they certainly do. As Oscar tries a little trick, Dobson, while he was tight to him. Palmer's tackled, Dobson steps in again, quick feet, that's nice. And now Wrexham a bit of space at the back. Brunt has been very progressive with the ball on this occasion. I think he's sensible not to, because he's got 3 Wigan players ranged in front of him. Cleworth with a delicate chip over Palmer's head. Mullin chases, Sessegnon reads it and lashes it clear. Taken well on the chest though, on the halfway line by Johnny Smith, but a sloppy touch by Sibic nearly allows Palmer in. Good cover by Scott Smith, and Tickle hacks it clear. Dobson, he's getting his touches in, certainly. Heads it backwards, inadvertently, but safely. And then Brunt again looks at the ambitious pass for Rathbone, who's herring after this. Solid defending by Sibic. He just runs it out for the goal kick, though.
Yeah, just looking at our setup as well when Wigan do have the ball. And it's Matty James, who you would say would sit in front of Taylor at the back. He's not. He's the one that's fully pushed on Smith to try and stop them playing out.
Goal kick.
Look how deep O'Connell is here.
Yeah.
Knowing he can't be offside from a goal kick.
Yeah, Dale Taylor's just standing on virtually the edge of our box, isn't he? And it's causing problems of our distances as Johnny Smith beats Brunt, who pulled his shirt. Referee Alonso gives the corner. Brunt's lucky there, I would argue. He nowhere near him, tried to pull him down and couldn't.
Yeah, he did. Johnny Smith just wriggling out of a situation there. And Brunt tried to pull his shirt, but I think the ref just let a little bit of advantage go and saw that it was going for a corner, so decided to give that to them.
I'll be honest, if I was the ref, I'd still come back and book him for the intent. But hey, like I said, I'd be very much a hanging judge of a referee. So corner, right-hand side, Johnny Smith will take it. To the very bright stars against his old team. Only been a handful of games for us, of course. Steps up, sweeps it with pace under the bar. Easy for Howard. Mullen is on his way now. Howard has to wait till he's in position, and as the ball knocked out of his hands by Taylor. And that's the sort of thing you often get booked for as well, so the ref's allowing that. I remember Louis Moult scoring like that. And I have a vague recollection, Andy, of you getting booked for doing that. But the whole rule is about whether you move towards the ball or not, isn't it? And I thought you were robbed.
Yeah, me too.
Nice one. Palmer now for the free kick. Touches it on. McLean beaten to it, though, by Kerr. Volleyed straight back in there by McLean. Mullen surely fouling his man. He has pulled Aimson off his feet. Free kick on the edge of the box. We're not quite getting things to stick up there, and when they have, well, we know Mullen and Palmer work well together, but they've actually had a couple of moments where they've not quite been on the same page. As Wrexham get a rare chance to press Wigan in their own half. O'Connell stepped a long way up. Wigan's approach is really doing interesting things to Wrexham's shape, and the distances between the players is Sessignon. Quality play. Takes 3 Wrexham players out with 1 pass to Sibic. Helps it quickly on to Smith. McLean is back there, level the edge of the area. Rathbone helping out. So it's good work by Smith, sidesteps them, but drills a shot wide from the edge of the box. They are very sharp, aren't they?
Well, it's virtually man for man. Wrexham, they need to just go, right, you're my man, and you saw it there with O'Connell. Taylor dropping right into the middle of midfield because he's the highest one up. O'Connell, just go in with him. Go and stop it at source. Can you all do your job on your man? And they're just all going, might get pulled about a little bit, but just go and be better than the man you're marking.
It's a goal kick to Wrexham. But has any team asked us this much at the racecourse this season? Palmer wins the header, gets it back to James McLean. And Matty James will slow it down. On the halfway there, McLean looks forwards. There was a run by Mullen. He doesn't use, and he's given it away. Dale Taylor now hasn't got much support, but he holds it up. Works it wide. Ola Kigbe again, now running at Cleworth, gets in the box. Can he get in his right foot? He can. But the shot is deflected over the bar. Corner.
Well, he is very right-footed. They are trying to show him down the line, and well done Dobson as well. He comes across to help out as he does chop inside. Dobson comes over, double-teamed, and gets the block in, which goes over for a corner. But they do break quickly. They've got pace both sides, and they're all willing to get involved and go and attack at the earliest opportunity.
So corner, Ola Kigbe's on it. In swinger, again, from the left-hand side. Wigan's players arriving late, wandering in beyond the far post. The 2 centre-backs. And Sibic, who's a tall fullback. And eventually, there's a signal, and it's driven flat to the near post nicely. Taylor tries to lay it off, and the shot is blocked by Mullen, who spotted the danger well and came racing back to block a mishit shot, it must be said. Johnny Smith, who had the shot, will take the away swinger now. One man in the 6-yard box for Wigan. The referee is going to come across to check if the ball is in the quadrant, which it almost always is. Wrexham fans are angry. I don't know why anyone cares about that, if I'm honest with you. So, gives the go-ahead. Good ball to the far post. Free header back into the goal mouth by Aimson. Great header by Cleworth, but the ball drops loose, and a shot is blocked from around the penalty spot. Arsgaard hit it well on the turn. Such a crowd, though, and I think it might have been Rathbone who got out to block it. Throw to Wigan. The pressure continues.
Yeah, they're just really keeping the pressure on Wrexham at the moment. We're finding it really difficult to get the ball and then keep it. It's a great little set piece. Kerr just drops off at that back post, puts a lovely header back into the danger zone, and they just can't quite get on the end of it.
I suppose the one consolation for Wrexham at the moment is we've played 23 minutes. Wigan have comfortably been the better team, but they've really carved out one proper chance, the one that Brunt's brilliantly denied. As here is Brunt, awkward one, but he's determined to take it on his chest rather than head it back into the midfield melee. Matty James gets a pass wrong in a dangerous area, and now here is Taylor pulling it back. A Deco, lovely first time ball out wide. Johnny Smith up against McLean once more, feeds it back. Sibic's got time. Brilliant from Rathbone. Great pace to cover 10 yards and get the block in, but Wigan have got Wrexham penned back, so the second ball falls straight back to the visitors. Another nice ball round the corner by Scott Smith, and a chip looking for a Deco. McLean heads clear. Dobson in midfield. Wrexham need Dobson and James to get a touch on that ball and just bring some quality to our play in the midfield. Howard going long, Palmer busting a gut as well to get there, chest it down, Dobson, first time out to Barnett, only Mullen ahead of him, nope. So Dobson in the centre circle, switches again, good ball out to McLean. Wrexham getting bodies into Wigan's half. Matty James lets Rathbone take over. O'Connell now, Barnett shouting for the switch and was clearly looking across the line after that last one. He was offside, just little stutter steps to keep himself on. But the ball goes back to Howard, who looks for Palmer. Barnett's close too, and Sessegnon gets it between him and heads him out of plays. Just hurt himself and is limping away. Throw taken quickly, Sessegnon looks okay. Holder of a World Cup Under-17 winners medal, of course, Sessegnon. The twin brother of Ryan, the Fulham player. As Palmer doesn't get his pass right to Dobson, but does find him. And Dobson again is calm under pressure. James in his own half. Again, Wigan have committed players forwards to pressure Wrexham. Good ball by O'Connell out to Dobson on the flank. Wrexham not rushing it. Although O'Connell's under pressure. Poor touch by him, gives it away. Taylor, left-hand side. Has got Olakigbe outside him, feeds him in. He pulls it back to great chance, edge of the area. Radiko hesitated. Huge challenge by McLean to save the situation, and now Barnett is tackled by Sessegnon, and here's Wigan again in a dangerous position. Sessegnon hits the goal line, pulls it in the goalmouth corner. O'Connell gets across. Goodness me, we are riding our luck.
Well, I have to say it's a massive chance for Wigan. Olakibe picks out Adiko wonderfully, absolutely spots him on the edge of the box, and then Adiko just takes an eternity, it felt like, to get the shot off in the end. I don't know whether he could have taken it first time. It looked like the pass was probably good enough for it, but just couldn't quite get that shot away. Good recovery, good defending in the end from James McLean, I think it was.
Yeah, he makes up 10 yards, McLean. He just sees the danger, comes from nowhere to just get a really important toe on it, but what a chance. His touch just too big.
Smith's corner, good header clear that time by Palmer. But again, Wrexham have got players deep and it'll come back at us. Smith down the line, that's good work. Again, McLean, his fighting characteristics are really useful in this game. He's scrapping away for 50-50s. Yeah, Deco scored the first goal of his career last match, Boxing Day at Rotherham. And that was a heck of a chance to make it 2-2 for him. He sort of addressed it with a slight lack of conviction of a guy who doesn't score many. That's a poor touch by him there. He fouls Rathbone in midfield. And the referee is going to buck him.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was blatant.
Yeah.
Rathbone, great touch across the body. You can't do anything about it, bar bring him down. Deservedly a yellow.
Yeah, free kick in the halfway line. It was a nasty mistake by the midfielder that had to be punished. Brunt stands up, an expansive one for Barnett, who wins it well in the air against Sessegnon, but it's picked up comfortably by centre-back Aimson. His pass forwards is inaccurate, which is something I've not had a chance to say about Wigan thus far. They've been, like I said, by far the most impressive side I think has come here so far this season. Huddersfield, of course, and Cambridge got points from us and played well, but Wigan are really on top of us here. What a poor pass out from the back by Sibic. Dobson's unlucky. He tries to play it early to Rathbone. The crowd frustrated that he couldn't play the pass, but he had to play it early, I think, to take advantage of the opportunity. Here's Brunt running forward, and he tries to put Dobson in. It's Will Smith with a really good interception on the edge of the area. And now here's a dangerous Olakigbe once more. Barnett has got back this time. Wrexham are bodies behind the ball, so Olakigbe won't go around the outside. Feeds it back into his own half. And the ball now out to the right-hand side to Sibic. Again, O'Connell stepping into midfield to watch Dale Taylor's runs as again he drops off. Good tackle by Rathbone. Wrexham get the call. Throw on the halfway line. Phil Parkinson was going mad at the fourth official and then realised the decision on his way. Decides to withdraw his objections.
Well, off the back of a really good press by Ollie Rathbone, we were able to nick it really high up. Real opportunity for us. Maybe the only opportunity in this first half so far, but unable to really make that pass tell to get an opportunity on goal.
Now, Wigan player's gone down off the ball and assume it's an injury rather than anything more sinister. And Wrexham are going to take the opportunity to come across to the bench to get some instruction, because the opening 29 minutes have just not gone our way. Quick look on Ask Wrexham. I mean, Gregory Schrader says good morning to us, and can he get a shout out to his son Zane, who's home from college to watch Wrexham with him this morning? Absolutely. Well, I hope you enjoy the next hour more than you've probably enjoyed the first half hour. That's all I can say.
Yeah, we're going to obviously come with a plan. Real high press, real quick. Not going to let us play forward with any comfortable play. And if they are going to leave somebody, it's going to be the opposite side. But if they can get a press on, then we're not going to be able to switch it. We really need to make sure that we can make a pass or two, which enables us to get out and then free up maybe the opposite side midfielder to get on the ball, that then can go out to our wing back to cause them a few problems. But we just haven't been able to keep a hold of it up top yet to get us any inroads really into this team.
Yeah, it's a Deco who's being treated, and did I see them calling a sub in then? I'm not sure. He's just missed the chance, given the ball away and got himself booked. And now he's down getting a lengthy spell of treatment. The sub has come back in, but was now carried on. Oh, so he's just having a little jog. I think that was a sign of a more eager warm-up. Yeah, they are briefing somebody already in the dugout. And the fourth official's board is out. So Wigan's excellent start will be disrupted by a change to their team. And that's a shame for Adiko, like I said, who's coming off his first goal of his career. Could have got one himself and then picked up a yellow. Well, no, that's peculiar. The referee, the injury is right on the touchline. And the referee is saying that, well, he's allowing him to walk across the pitch rather than take the short route. I think he's signalling that he's pulled a muscle. He doesn't want him to walk all the way around the pitch, I guess. Didn't go down well with the Wrexham fans, but there is a substitution ready. Jensen Weir is going to come on, son of David Weir, of course, the Scotland international. So Deco makes his way off. Yeah, there's good experience on the bench as well for Wigan, with Callum McManaman, of course, on that. They've used the loan system well. Say Silko Thomas still loan from Leicester, Joe Hugel on loan from Man United, and of course up front Dale Taylor, Northern Irish international, is on loan from Forest. So they've certainly used that loan market well. As we restart with a drop ball. Ball's lofted down the flank. Civic beaten in the air by Palmer, and a slip from a defender. That was Mullen to protect the ball, and he gets a free kick. It was a daft challenge by Aimson. It's just outside the box. Well, at least that's what the ref says. It was close.
Well, it's a difficult one for Aimson, because Mullen, I thought he was going to take it in his stride, but he just lets it bounce. And I think he's panicked maybe a little bit, and just, yeah, he definitely catches him, I think, by the looks of it on that replay.
And it is just outside the box, to be fair. Having looked at it, it's about a foot outside. You know what? I'm too selfish at Christmas, aren't I? I want that penalty against Blackpool for a handball which hits the defender square in the middle of his back. And now I'm looking for a penalty for a barge outside the box. You don't ask, you don't get. That's all right. That's my policy on Santa. Well, Mullen is on it. It's right on the left corner of the box. The crowd in front of Tickle. Only a two-player wall, it looks like. Everyone back defending for Wigan. Mullen steps up, puts it through the wall, but straight at Tickle. Good hands by the keeper, because it was moving quickly and skipped in front of him. But, yeah, comfortable by Tickle.
Yeah, good hands, but you want a player to get across, try and get across out of his vision. Just put him off a little bit, so he might spill it. You see how we're way back behind the penalty spot.
Yeah, it's Brunt who makes that run in the end, and he's nowhere near getting into the Tickle's line of vision at all. Cleworth left it long. Mullen, though, won't get there. Amish heads it clear. Aimson, not Amish. That's a different show altogether. Cleworth with a good defensive header. Dobson looks to help it round Oscar with a good challenge, but Dobson gets there and plays a first-time long one, which Palmer flicks on well. Unlucky. Couldn't get enough on it. McLean was unmarked out wide. He couldn't find him. Now here's Mullen battling well. Is he fouled? Nope. Referee says not. He went down a bit spectacularly. Now here is the sub, Jensen Weir, hoofing it down the flank. Ola Kigbe saying, I hadn't made that run, mate. So, Howard, clear. Palmer touches it on well again. Mullin causing a problem for Aimson. The ball spins away. O'Connell takes it well on the chest and comes driving down the right. Has no simple pass on though, and decides not to try and lift it over the top. Wigan were retreating quickly. Ball back to Howard. Howard right-footed, drills it long. Sessegnon beaten by Barnett in the air again. Mullin can't quite reach it. Aimson stoops to head it away. And it's helped on by Smith. Cleworth with a fourth right volley, which McLean will chase after. And Sippick had to be alert to get across and cover that and hook it out of play. Like you said, Andy, Johnny Smith cheating, which means McLean's getting that space coming forwards.
Yeah, and it was almost just a clearance really from Max, a bit of a nothing ball. But the pressure from James McLean, just means we get something from it.
And here he is now, twisting inside. He finds on the edge of the box, Matty James, good feet. Brings in Cleworth, the fans tell him to shoot. He does. He should have played Barnett in, as Barnett expresses by holding both arms high in the air. Yeah, he does strike the ball well, Cleworth, but not that. That wasn't the option.
Well, we say sometimes they end up in the top corner, sometimes they don't. Unfortunately, that one didn't. Maybe top corner of the stand.
Yeah. Sometimes is a very flexible word, isn't it?
But just a little bit better from Wrexham there. They made a couple of passes. They're able to get it into Matty James, who then gets it out to McLean. And then McLean is 1v1 because Johnny Smith is cheating. Can we make that happen more and more for the rest of this half?
From the goal kick, Taylor does really well to flick it on beyond O'Connell. But as he's standing, like I said, on the edge of the box, there's no one ahead of him for him to flick it onto. So Howard has it. Interested to see whether the changing a deco for Weir might just have an effect on Wigan as Palmer gets across well, but good work by Aimson, blocks his flick. Dobson with two men on him, loses the ball. And now here again comes Sessegnon. Barnett quick to recover, but it's a neat pass inside. Ola Kigbe, poor touch, Cleworth gets a good foot in. And now Sessegnon will have to go back in his own half. It's a poor pass. Mullin's herring after this. And Tickle just about gets there and launches the ball over the roof of the Wrexham Lager stand. Mullin's got the replacement ball. And the referee says he's taken the throw from the wrong place. Nice idea, but yeah, the ref, and I hate saying this, is right.
Yeah, he was right. I think that clearance from the keeper has ended up on the University Flats roof more than the roof of our stand here. That was huge.
Well, let's hope it did some damage. Matty James has got an option wide. McLean back to James. Wrexham on the left-hand side. Come out of there. Brunt now. Barnett is ready for the switch. O'Connell pulls it instead, looking for McLean. Sibbick backpedaling does well to get his head to it. And Smith clears only as far as Brunt. And Wrexham continue this improved spell since the stoppage. Matty James sweeping it across to Cleworth. Barnett is available and receives it. 35, 40 yards out. He goes back into his own half. Cleworth now. Now it's McLean waiting for the switch. Brunt. McLean's dropped off. Brunt feeds it, looking for Palmer in the air. He jumps up. We had two men running inside him, and he's won a lot of headers, but Aimson won that well. That was important from Wigan's point of view. As Ola Kigbe now has got a chance to come forward. Wrexham have four players tracking back on the right-hand side, which naturally leaves a lot of space when the ball's pulled back to the halfway line for Sessegnon. Wigan just trying to regain the grip on the game they had earlier in the match. Like I said, I wonder if Deco coming off and Weir coming on might make some difference. Deco was quite lively the way he's coming forwards and just linking play up with little forwards runs. Weir's not had the scope to do that yet. O'Connell knocking it long onto Sessegnon's head. He heads it narrow and Cleworth gets there. Takes a good first touch and Taylor pushes him in the back. Free kick. No complaint from the Wigan man. And here's Matty James now. Cleworth. We've only got 7 minutes left. This half has flown by. It's been so fast-paced. Howard drills a flat one which Aimson gets to ahead of Mullin. O'Connell has got some time because Taylor's come back from an offside position. Howard long, Palmer gets up, good, headed away by Kerr. And now Brunt has to be sharp as Smith tries to spin him behind him. And he is sharp, he's done well. And he turns away from Smith. Rathbone deep in his own half. O'Connell immediately put under pressure by Taylor. Nice little shuffle to get beyond him, and he knocks over the top. Mullin is tearing after that, but has no chance of keeping it in. Goal kick.
Yeah, just pulled the wrong club out. O'Connell there just needed a little bit higher. 7-iron, just drop it in over the top. A little bit of backspin to keep and give Mullin a chance. But we are 3 for 3 in midfield, and we cannot find a free pass in there. They are going man for man. They're really strong on their press, and so hence that's why they're 3 for 3 up top as well. So hence that's why Mark Howard is becoming our free man, and we're going a little bit longer. We need to can one of the strikers maybe drop in and make an overload in there. Elliot Lee would do that automatically as a player, but we just need to try and somehow get on the ball to play through the lines. We're just not doing it. We're going over the top, and Ollie Palmer's not having a great deal of joy up the top.
As he looks to get to a long ball there, Rathbone does really well, James rather, to bring down the ball. And it's a nice idea to switch to Barnett, but it was overhit, and Barnett had no chance of keeping that end. Yeah, Lee is on the bench, of course. Be sort of feel a little counterintuitive to bring a striker off to bring in a player who can drop off the front. But it could be what could unlock this game as the throw-in's taken. Cleworth again gets it well, heads it back in the Wigan half, and then again as Sessegnon heads it clear. O'Connell up, head tennis, Barnett flicks it on, Sessegnon's there again, Cleworth's there again, and then Mullin looks to make it back and draw the foul. Ref rightly doesn't give it, and Wigan clear. They'll bounce all the way through to Howard. Some of the fans to the right made a noise like Oliver Hardy makes when something goes wrong in Laurel and Hardy then, because he thought that Brunt and Howard were going to leave it for each other. But luckily, it all turned out fine as Palmer helps her on well. Mullin gets a free kick right on the edge of the box. He complains it's Aimson again, and I think he's got a right to say, well, if the guy keeps barging me in the back on the edge of the area, there should be a card. But this is a really nice shooting position.
Well, Ollie Palmer got the run on him this time, was able to get up early, and he won the first ball, and Mullin has gambled, and it's a push in the back. It's a free kick, really good position.
It's the same range as the last one Mullin hit, but it's a good 5-6 yards inside. Sort of halfway between the D and the corner of the box, a couple of yards outside. And Aimson just arrived a bit too soon, put his hand on his back, and Mullin, having felt that contact, is going to go down. So 4-man wall. Mullin again is on it. And is at the back of his run-up waiting for the referee's go-ahead. There it is. So it's Mullin stepping up. Oh, hits the wall. I thought he got over then. The wall jumped and got a touch, and then it's driven back in by James and headed clear. James heads it back towards the edge of the box. Palmer knocks it on. And it's a good stretch by Cleworth to try and keep the ball alive in there. And now Barnett is closing in on Oladipo. And it's clearance by Sibic, which finds Arsgaard on the left. Wrexham have recovered their shape well, though. I thought it might have allowed a breakaway. And Wigan can just regain their shape and pass the way out from the back. 2 free kick chances for Mullin, but Wrexham not making opportunities, and Phil Parkinson will already be thinking about what he needs to say to his team to reset for the second half, as Arsgaard now finds a bit of space. Oladipo is outside him, Sessions come inside, Oladipo receives it, level the edge of the area, running up Barnett, little step over, gets onto his right foot again, sweeps into the far post, nasty ball in, and no one can quite get the touch. Goal kick to Wrexham, but wow, Arsgaard with his head in his hands.
Well, Brunt's ducked under it, and I can't believe he's left it, unless he knew that it was going out, but blimey, that's a risk, because McLean's behind him with Smith attacking it at the back post. Just ducks underneath it and lets it go. Turns out to be a great decision, but I think I'd prefer it. My heart's just jumped out my mouth.
Yeah, sometimes you can get things right for the wrong reasons, can't you? He was very narrow to be making that decision, and McLean had to get across to make sure that Smith couldn't get on the end of it. Still 0-0 though. Rathbone does well, good tackle. I thought he'd knocked her off McLean there actually, but the throw goes Wrexham's way. Taken quickly by McLean, back to the halfway line. Brunt onto his right foot. Again, is ambitious in his pass, and again he's accurate, finds Barnett. Feeding it back to Cleworth. Inside to Dobson, who always having Smith on him. Cleworth over the top, and a slip by Aimson allows Palmer to bring it down. Wigan crowd round him. Palmer battles through though. Sessignon with an orthodox challenge, and then Palmer's hacked by Aimson. He's got to book him now. Another free kick. About a foot offside, or Weir, beg your pardon. Thanks to local knowledge next to me corrected me there. I'll let Weir off then. Fair play. But another free kick on the edge. We've got to start really working Tickle from these.
Well, I'm just unsure how Ollie Palmer has ended up there, because he lost the ball about 4 times, he regained it about 5 times, and then somehow there's a couple of slips in there as well, and he wriggles away on the edge of the box, and he's just took him out. It is outside the box.
Well, it's a real shooting position, isn't it? Just wide of the right post, right on the edge of the box, a 5-player wall. Here's James McLean, ripping it straight into the ball, and it'll go for a corner. There's a bit of a build-up, of course, against his old team, but that was never threatening the keeper. He can take a corner, mind. Wigan with everyone back, 3 added minutes to be played. As McLean signals, steps up, sweeps it in flat, easy clearance, throw to Wrexham, about 15 yards out, right-hand side. Barnett has got a good run by Mullen and uses him. Good run down the line. Mullen hooks it back in. Nobody had anticipated and made themselves available at the near post though, so it's cleared easily. And Dobson will bring it down and go back. Well, he won't go back to Howard. He's got time to turn now. Wigan step up. And Dobson hits a good switch. Hooks forwards by Brunt inaccurately, but it's given straight back to him. Here now in his own half is Matty James. Now, Wrexham have had those free kick opportunities. That's been about it. As Cleworth feeds to the halfway line. Have improved Wrexham, I think, since the substitution enforced on Wigan, but Wigan will still be far the happier side. Good chasing back by Mullen to win a throw-in after a surge forwards by Aimson.
Well, the pass from Dobson, I think he wants it down the line. He wants it played in behind him. That's where Mullen's made the run, but it's dropped short. But he does do well to go and help get it back.
Cleworth throws it long. It comes off the head of Aimson. Another throw into Wrexham. About 20 yards out, right-hand side. Barnett waits for the ball to be retrieved from the crowd. And if Wrexham are able to get to the next 90 seconds, they'll have again shown a bit of grit defensively. As Dobson nicely weighted return ball to Barnett. The cross took a deflection, and Tickle does really well, despite the protest of fans and players, to stop it going behind for the corner. Just over a minute left of this half.
Yeah, we just haven't quite found that quality when we've had them opportunities to get the ball into the box yet. That's on open play as well as set pieces. I think we've just not quite found that touch.
Great tackle by Dobson. Palmer's ball in though again, like you say. Illustrates your point perfectly. Just picks out Smith in the box and no Wrexham player near him. Wrexham have it again though. Get more possession the last 10-15 minutes. Cleworth back to Howard. Into the last minute of added time. Palmer won't be able to get to that. Headed away comfortably. And O'Connell puts it back in there. Kerr heads it clear. Brunt heads it over the top of the defence. Palmer and Mullen chasing. Aimson's calm though. Nods it square. Sibic launches a long clearance. Off balance, Brunt nods it into midfield, and James will had to get there one way or the other. He fouls his man, and the referee isn't going to his pocket. I mean, it was a good breakaway situation for Wigan. I think James had to make sure one way or the other he stopped that break.
No, absolutely, Mark. Asgard's coming at it at pace. You've just got to think Matty James either win it or take the man, really, because it's a real good counter opportunity for Wigan.
They've just looked a little bit brighter all round. Second balls, they're winning. They seem to be on the front foot just that little bit more, and their passing seems a little bit sharper. I think Parker will be delighted to be in at 0-0 and get them in, and history shows our second halves have been better than our first.
Well, Kigby pulls it back to the edge of the area. Smith couldn't set himself with a shot. Oh, Johnny Smith, beg your pardon. It's actually Weir who tried to spin past his man and didn't quite stick for him, and it's half time. Remember, you can join Andy and Mia on Wrexham's YouTube channel now, and they will go through that half in detail with Chris Malaband, or you can hang around with me. and have a little chat. Neil Williams hopefully will be able to come in. I'll have a look through your Ask Wrexham questions, but wow, they asked a lot of questions, Wigan did, that's for sure. And that is, for me, comfortably the best half any team visiting the racecourse has put in this season. Wigan sharp, pressing hard, finding space down the flats and threatening. And the only downside for them is that they haven't been making opportunities, or at least not as many as their play really warrants. Wrexham, well, we've had a trio of free kicks just outside the box and only tested the goalkeeper Tickle with one of them, which was a pretty straightforward take, to be honest. So Wrexham need to up the quality in the second half. Already we've seen Stockport drop 2 points and Wycombe drop 3 points. But that doesn't make much difference if Wrexham can't take advantage and maintain our strong home record. We'll see what happens in 10 minutes or so when the half resumes. But in the meantime, Blackpool as well, drawing at half-time, Birmingham are home to Blackpool. So the top of the table, it's an interesting day. The team in the top 4 that gets a win is going to be very happy indeed. Right, let's have a look at some of these Ask Wrexhams. Oh, wow. Dave is watching from San Jose, California. Another pre-dawn match. 2024 has been a great year for Wrexham. Let's end it with 3 points. Well, we're going to doing their darndest to make that as difficult as possible. Oh, Arizona's in the house. JB has tweeted a picture. Oh, where is that? Is that right in front of us? There is. There's me in the background. Hello, JB, wherever you are. Well, I know where you are. I just said where you are. So I'm quite slow. Neil Williams, the man, the myth, the legend, has arrived. Neil, how the heck are you?
I'm good, thank you, Mark, apart from
the football?
Yeah, it's not brilliant, is it?
Wigan have done well, haven't they? They've really been at us.
Well. They've really closed us down, give us very little space, but I just think our passing's gone a little bit.
Yeah. They're putting so much pressure on the ball. We're not able to dominate that ball, and it's interesting to see what Phil Barkston will do in order to encourage his team to counteract that. We've been a bit better since they had to make that substitution midfield, perhaps, but
yeah, I mean,
we need to be better than that still.
Yeah, we've had 3 free kicks on the edge of the box, which we haven't made enough of. Yeah. I was just distracted then by Jarvis, who put a pre-match tweet up of Red Star, of course, is one of our top feline supporters, who was keeping a Klopp-like eye on the Wigan warm-ups. Because, of course, Klopp, when he was manager of Liverpool, would always watch the other side warming up to get clues. And so I love that. But watching with a swishy tail, which we all know means anger. Maybe she could see the potential Wigan had as they warmed up. Did you watch the warm-up then? Did you watch Wigan warm-up then? And
no, I went for a coffee. I'll be honest with you. I haven't got the acute eye that Klopp or Red Star have got, I'm afraid.
Okay.
I'd be happy, if Red Star wants to send over any thoughts, I'd be delighted. Absolutely delighted.
Red Star, how do we break this Wigan defence down?
Exactly.
What their weaknesses?
I think Red Star says false number 9. Make their centre-backs decide who they're picking up. Good point. Yeah, Sherry's name now is only here for the Wrexham. And she, of course, is watching as always. Good to see Baby Arth back on the bench. Although, as she says, Howard's been reliable. Yeah, good to see Okonkwo and Lee back and back in contention. I was worried they might be out for a bit longer.
Soon, yeah, no, it's good to see.
It's Mrs. Bustails N.E. says, Mrs. Bustails has gone to her mum's. I'm a free man. Beer, leftover curry sandwich. Ooh, that sounds nice. And, of course, the commentary as well. Oh, leftover curry.
On a sandwich, though.
Yeah, I reckon it's going to congeal a bit. Curries and pizzas and chilies are things, they mature in the fridge, don't they?
They do, but never had it on a sandwich as curry.
I don't think I have, but I want to now. I really want to. Let's have a little look on Blue Sky. I've had a chance to have a look on there, yes. at the Ask Wrexhams.
All the other games are going our way.
Yeah.
We need to win this, Mark.
Exactly so.
And Stevenage beating Stevenage 1-0 on our scoreboard. Have you seen that?
Say again. Stevenage are beating Stevenage.
1-0, yeah.
Are Stevenage at home or away?
I don't know. Both, I think.
Both. Well, that's a fair play. That's quite the feat. And yeah, of course, Wycombe lost.
They certainly did. Stockport drew.
Yeah. I had a really profound conversation about Wycombe without knowing they were actually playing at that time. Now I think back to what I said, it didn't make much sense. George Dobson's ponytail on Blue Sky says, well, I hope they're at least getting some good locker room footage of Sweary Parky for the documentary. They certainly, I suspect, it's interesting, isn't it? His image of being like that, I don't think that's a common thing. I think he's much more thoughtful. Paul Mullen, in his autobiography, talks about how he's actually very thoughtful and analytical, but it's good TV when he gets enthusiastic, and he may need to today, perhaps.
Definitely needs you today, yes. For me, Dobson is struggling at the moment. I think maybe Cannon might come on sooner than we think. His ball distribution has been not up to his standard, shall we say.
Being what, sorry?
His ball distribution has not been up to his he's normally superb. But you could say that about a lot of the Wrexham players at the moment this afternoon. But as I say, Wigan are doing very well and closing this down. So,
yeah, I think Dobson's been presented with a player in his face constantly, hasn't he? Usually Smith, the holding midfielder, gets across to him. I can't help thinking that, I thought he'd done okay. It's just that it's difficult for him to actually get the time to play forward passes. He's tried to play a couple of killer balls, which were difficult, and he didn't pull them off.
There's no room in that midfield. I mean,
no.
It's so congested in that midfield.
So do we bypass it? Do we drop another man off into it?
That's what Sparky's got to sort out at half-time, isn't it?
I like that. Neil's stance very much, well, Parkson gets paid to answer that question, not me.
Well, no matter what I say, he's not going to do it, is he? Because he's the man that makes the decisions. It's interesting to see how Wigan are playing a striker so far up the pitch.
Yeah.
In front of our defenders.
Oh, for the goal kicks?
Well,
do you know?
Yeah. I mean, he's virtually on the edge of our box.
Yeah. But he can't be offside, can he, from a goal kick? So he can come back and challenge, and he's won one header against O'Connell by getting the jump on him.
Well, that's what I thought, but I thought, why was he not offside?
But it also messes with O'Connell's judgment, doesn't it? It's like he doesn't know where he is, you can't see him.
No.
And so he's getting a bit, naturally, he'd be looking around with him, and O'Connell's been really trying to man-mark him. He's followed him into midfield. So ironically, goal kicks, he stands in that very advanced position, but in open play, he drops off a lot in midfield, and O'Connell's chasing him in there, and obviously if they can get one of the midfield runners into that gap, they open us up, but they haven't managed to do it yet because I think, to be fair, O'Connell's stuck close to him and not letting him use the ball effectively.
Yeah.
Leo.
Yeah, I never knew that, Mark, that he can be offside from a goal kick.
Can't be offside from a goal kick. So he's got the scope to do that, hasn't he? And just like Mullen with that run, you can't be offside from a throw-in either, can you?
I know from a throw-in, yes.
I'm not testing you, Neil, don't worry.
No.
So that run down the goal line, he can make. It's just a pity that no one else apart from Barnett was alert to it, to be fair.
And the referee, of course, when he pushed the ref did, because he pushed him back.
Oh, that's a different one. No,
sorry.
Yeah, that's when he was trying to take the quick one when the keeper came off. Yeah. But he did take it from the wrong place, to be fair. So
how often does that happen on the pitch?
Good question. Fair question. Yeah. But a ref's never going to allow it in that situation, I guess.
I guess not, no.
But no, I mean the one where he made a run down the goal line and he's offside, but can't be offside, and Barnett threw him in, but then when he flicked it round, nobody else anticipated him, and so it was cleared easily enough. Aaron saying that there's still a few minutes until the sun comes up here, but man, that was a fast first half in Wrexham. It was. The pace was terrific, and Wigan, I mean, the one thing I'm thinking, will they tire a bit because they're pressing us very, very hard. Leo, I was going to say, wasn't I, says, I'm happy with 0-0 at half-time. We're getting better as the game goes on, but Wigan's still looking extremely dangerous. I think that's a good summary of the situation we're in right now.
Excellent summary of it, that is. We have grown into the game.
Yeah.
I mean, they've dominated the first, again, like most teams at the moment. And they had corner after corner after corner. And they had that great cross into the box, which nobody got onto the end to, which went past the far post. But yeah, we are getting better. We're getting much better as the game's gone on.
If you don't want an image of a graphic nature to appear in your heads, look away now. Walter Nitz says it's a constipated game. Hopefully the second half will have more flow. Which has drawn response from nevertheless. More flow, and then a gif of Kermit the Frog being absolutely, I mean, frankly, waterboarded. That's cruel, the poor fella. I know frogs are amphibious, but that seems too much.
They're used to water.
Too much amphib, that is, if that's the word.
Do you think, Mark, it's also thrown us that we're playing the wrong direction in our first half that we normally play?
Oh, do you reckon?
Well, I don't know.
Those overhit back passes were actually shots.
No. They switched us round, didn't they? Wigan, they decided to play the opposite way and to like to play in the second half. So, yeah.
Well, Janie Troll's just insulting me. She says, Neil, everything just got better. Oh, come on.
Thank you, Janie.
Come on.
Thank
That's
you.
cold. I did my best. I'm bleeding for you here. Well, okay, maybe I'm not. I know what you mean. Sorry. And Janie Lightning asks, do you think this pace is going to wear down Wrexham or Wigan first? Well, I would argue if it comes down to that, Wrexham's conditioning's excellent. And we have players like Rathbone who can never stop. And also, as you were saying, Neil, players like Cannon who are extremely energetic to come off the bench. Plus, like I said, our conditioning is really good. We don't tend to tire at the end of games. So if that does come into a factor.
Wigan have done a lot of chasing down.
Yeah.
A lot of chasing down the ball, and that will take its toll over 90 minutes. They can't carry that on for 90 minutes. And I think one goal maybe in this game, and that's it. You know, one goal might nick it.
Yeah, it's very hard to play with that level of intensity.
Yeah.
And whereas I couldn't help feeling that maybe Weir looks a bit more of a defensive player than a Deco, the player he replaced, and that might have just knocked their balance slightly. It could also be that they've put in a really fast half hour and they can't keep doing that quite as consistently. Although, having said that, they still had threat in the last 15 minutes. So we'll have to see, won't we? My cat's mom, great name, has got a great question. You call it a novice question. I don't agree at all. I think it's a very good question, and a question which I think I'll probably say something that most people disagree with. So I'll let Neil go first. When is it permitted to challenge the goalkeeper for the ball? And also know what accusation you'll make of me.
When is it permitted to challenge the goalkeeper?
Yeah.
When he's got the ball.
No, but when you're allowed to challenge the goalkeeper for the ball. Like, where's that line really between a foul and not a foul? I understand it.
I think that's all down to the eyes of the referee, to be honest. Some will allow more contact than others.
Yeah.
Corners, free kicks, when they're allowed to go for the ball, you're allowed to challenge for that ball with the keeper. What was the game I saw the other day where they actually kept the keeper out of the game? Was it the Liverpool game?
Was it Onana for Man United at Wolves when he was blocked off?
Correct, blocked off, yeah.
I thought that was a real borderline call, that one.
Yeah, it was.
In terms of players aren't actually... Wolves had a player in front of him and a player behind him, and they curved it towards the far top corner. It went straight in.
Correct.
Onana...
Well,
firstly, it's got to be said, okay, gets involved with the bloke in front of him, but he shouldn't. No. He's misjudged it and got underneath the flight of the ball, then realised he got to back pedal, and then the Wolves player standing there can't be offside because it's a corner, and he just hasn't yielded. So is he obstructing Onana? I kind of think he is, but he doesn't actually...
He's entitled to stand there.
He's entitled to stand there, yeah. But obstruction is stopping the player getting to the ball. So I feel maybe, but I'm not committed to that. I feel like maybe it's obstruction, but he's not trying to play the man. Certainly not.
No, very true. Very true. So it's very difficult.
Yeah, tough for the officials.
It is, yeah. See you, Mark.
You're off, Neil. It's been a pleasure as always. Again. I'll continue talking about goalkeepers, and I'll make a speech now on the accusation I thought you'd make of me sticking up for keepers that you actually didn't make, to be fair. Yeah, I used to be a goalkeeper. Cat's mom, and I would argue that people are much too quick to say it's not a foul on the goalkeeper. I mean, essentially the rule is, are you actually impeding the goalkeeper? So, yeah, are you doing something to knock the goalkeeper off their balance or to block their path to the ball?
I would argue that it doesn't take much contact for it to be a foul on a goalkeeper, which is not, well, it's not the common view that pundits have, but it is the common view referees have. Because I'm saying that, imagine you're jumping up with your arms outstretched to catch a ball. If you are, as you touch the ball, someone just nudges your arm slightly, you have to drop that ball because there's only one hand touching it, even if your hand's only nudged an inch. So I'd argue any sort of interference with that is a foul. But most people would shout at me about being in the goalkeepers union by saying that. So, I'll hold my hands up. Something I rarely did effectively as a goalkeeper, I've got to be honest. I suppose the hard and fast rule is, but even then there's a slight sort of kink to it. If the ball's in the goalkeeper's control, you can't knock it out of their hands. But what is in control? Kids were always told if the keeper's got one hand on it, then you can go for it, and if you've got two hands on it, you can't. But that's not the actual rule. So I would argue, if I saved the ball, again, unlikely, and I had the ball pushed against the floor with one hand, I've got it under control. So yeah, it's something we argue about a lot. Let's go back to this game then, shall we? Wrexham attacking the Cop end. Wigan, that terrific high tempo first half. Can they put the same sort of tempo in for a full 90 as it goes back to Tickle, who drives it long? And Cleworth again wins the header. Sessegnon putting it back in. That's a lovely reception of the ball by Taylor around the back of the defence. Pulls it in, hit the bar. Ball ricochets over the bar from the rebound. It was a defender that hit it against the bar. And then Jensen Weir, who just couldn't get a proper contact on the follow-up. Wow.
Well, I think it's Matty James. Slide tackle to stop the cross, smashes it against his own crossbar. And a simple side foot tap in when it comes back to him. It does come back to him quick. But it just goes with his laces and it goes up over the bar. But I think it's a slip from Cleworth that gives him the chance. And a brilliant first touch by Asgard. Blimey, into his path.
Yeah, Asgard, I beg your pardon, it was breaking around the back of the fence. Matty James hitting the bar 16 seconds into the second half as now Palmer holds the ball up well. But Wigan win it back. Sibic goes long. And Taylor wins a good header, but it drops for Brunt. Brunt, big diagonal again. Barnett drops off to retrieve it. He's got Dobson in short, feeds the ball in for Palmer. He does well to stretch and bring down to control. Lays it back quickly. Rathbone receives it, squared from James, and he looks to play a return pass, but the interception is made. There was a chance to play McLean in there. Good run by James, covers and intercepts in the middle of the pitch. The Wrexham fans looking to make noise and rouse their team. Palmer's making a good run. Is he offside? I don't think the linesman's going to flag. And in the end, it's a good challenge by Aimson. Throw to Wrexham by the corner flag.
Yeah, I thought he made a decent run there. Ollie Palmer just stepped to his right first, just to get himself on side. And made a run. I don't know why he didn't go straight to the ball, though, because he let Amerson just take it off him and put it out for a throw-in.
So it's taken, and Wrexham with Dobson, good scurrying run, nice ball. Palmer lays off to Mullen, edge of the area. His pass behind Rathbone, but he shows good strength. Holds off Asgard, then cuts back inside again and crosses, and Palmer can't get there because Kerr stood his ground and we just couldn't get round him.
Yeah, I think it's Dobson who's in there.
Yeah, beg your pardon.
And just holds him. Doesn't let him run where he wants to.
Well, fast start to the half, in keeping with the first half, of course. Well, first half, they had not that much in terms of goal-mouth incident, despite Wigan's aggressive intent. Tickle knocks it long. James gets up, but only flicks it on to the dangerous Ola Kikbe, who's running at Cleworth, cuts into the box. Good tackle by Cleworth. For the first time, I think, he actually went inside, but then went around the outside, and Cleworth timed that well. Now then, in midfield, Dobson's battling against two men. Barnett, beg your pardon, can't get it. And it's another chance for Ola Kikbe to run at Cleworth. Little step over, goes round the outside again. Cleworth gets the block, goes behind for the corner. He's been a threat all game.
Yeah, we just got to make him go to the left. Go down the line and make him cross with his weaker foot. He's desperate to come in on that right foot and fire. Cleworth done great the last two chances there. He's made him go on the outside. His quality can't be as good And a good block.
So an in-swinger from the left-hand side. We're going to got a couple of players in the 6-yard box. And big men lurking around the penalty spot. Swept under the bar nastily. Palmer's there to head clear. Rathbone will be beaten to it. Wigan want a free kick, but don't get it. Beg your pardon, O'Connell it was racing out there. To be fair, there's no real complaint that it wasn't a free kick from the player himself, but Wrexham get the throw. Brunt with the ball in his hands. Putting it down the line. Bounces beyond Palmer and his marker. Mullin tries a little back heel. Rathbone trying to dig out a tackle. A very crowded in there. Wigan emerging the ball. And Sipic comes forward. Well read. Brunt with a good interception. There's not much ahead of him, but he loves surging down the flank. He wins a throw. Good work that. And Smith had to step in and stop him.
Yeah, I think it's one of the first times today we've seen Lewis Brunt go on one of those runs we're becoming accustomed to. But he does really well to actually win something from it, because it almost looks like he's going down a dead end.
Well, here's Howard going long. Dobson's high up the pitch, but he's not got much chance against Aimson, and the ball drops again for the Kigbay. Barnett's managed to get back goal side of him this time to protect Cleworth. And so Sessignon now on the halfway line. Wigan looking to move the ball around in their own half. Sipic helping it on. The space is not there. Weir nutmegs Brunt, but can't get round the other side of him. Rathbone tidying up again. McLean. This pass goes for a throw to Wrexham on the halfway line.
It's just not that pass though. When McLean gets it, it's like he's looking up and he wants to play that into midfield. Can we go out the other side? But it's not on. Can we be brave, take that pass and then make the switch from there?
Brunt down the line. Ball goes through to Mullin. Surrounded again by defenders. He tries a little nutmeg. It's won back well by McLean. No one really in the box to aim for. He stands it up. Tickle takes it comfortably. Barnett had arrived at the far post, but it didn't have enough on it. And to be fair to McLean, head down, he just had to get there and deliver. As Cleworth battling away, the Kigbay's got past him. Barnett takes him out. Ref plays advantage. Shot comes in and goes wide. More pressure on Wrexham. Oscott struck it well, but off target. Well, I don't know if the ref's saying Barnett's tackle was fair, because I thought that was a yellow the way it went in, but...
Well, no, I think he's saying he played an advantage for Asgard to take the shot. Hit it well enough, but not on target. But then, obviously, because it doesn't rifle into the top corner, as a manager, you want to bring it back then to the free kick. It is a free kick.
Yeah, Sean Maloney was going mad below us, I think, asking for probably a yellow and for the referee to bring it back.
Here's Palmer flicking on the goal kick. Mullin turns inside rather than go wide and overhits his pass. It's cleared by Sessignon. Taylor, lovely work to turn away from O'Connell, but equally good work by James to rob him. And now the ball's out wide of McLean. Inside to Rathbone. But again, Wigan get their shape right, and Wrexham have to go back into their own half. Brunt feeding it across the face of his back three to Cleworth, who stands up a diagonal. Looking for Palmer. He sees McLean's behind him, but nods it in for Mullin. Big interception that in the centre of defence by Aimson. Rathbone tries to nip in, and it's good work by Smith to just clip the ball around the corner. As Palmer nips it on the edge of the box, he won't get a foul for that. We've had 3 on the edge of the area already, and that one, well, he won it in a great possession, but couldn't hit the ball with him, and then hit the deck. This is end to end. And Wigan looks so sharp on the break. They got a man over and left on the Kigbay. As always, Asgard first time finds him. Cuts in the box. Cleworth stands firm. Blocks as he tries to cross. He'll get another chance. Goodness me. There's no let up here. Sessignon tries a little trick and then feeds it back to Ola Kigbay. And now Wigan with a bit of space in midfield. Sipic tucked in. Plays it wide to Johnny Smith. Sipic's going on a lung-busting overlap, and Smith uses him as a decoy. Comes inside, switches play across to the left. Sessignon also tucked in. Keeps that ball moving. Wrexham penned into the box here. Cross comes in from Ola Kigbay. Good header by Brunt. And it's hooked away by Rathbone for a throw. Wigan's fans encouraged. They're again showing that energy and really pressing us.
Well, good header at the back post. Stuck to his job, Brunt. And headed it out. Whenever we have had an opportunity to go and press in a couple of numbers, I don't think Wigan are too great on the ball, but just haven't had enough chances to go and do it.
Yeah, they're driving us backwards as they knock the ball to the edge. Yeah, good strength by O'Connell to get a touch with Taylor in his way. Rathbone over the top, too much. Bigger than Dobson again, was it? But yeah, again, that sort of situation there where you want players to be taking a touch and being brave, but we're knocking it long and they're coming back at us. Here now at the back is the skipper, Kerr. 54th minute. Still 0-0. But goodness me, Wrexham are being tested to the limit here. Ball played back to Howard. Or an overhit pass, should I say. And Wrexham look to build from the back again. It's McLean, confident touch, driving inside, going beyond his man. Helped on by Dobson. Mullin, good ball out wide. Barnett now has got 3 players trying to get in the box for him. He takes on Sessegnon, delivers early. Palmer, it carries through his legs. And McLean had just overrun and it fell behind him. Throw to Wigan, but that was a moment of real promise.
Yeah, much better from Wrexham. They just do it on 1 or 2 touch, and it's just the speed of it is so much quicker, and it just beats that Wigan press so easily. And I just thought it was going to fall to James McLean at that back post. It just evades him. But great play by Wrexham, so much better.
Yeah, it was. It enabled Barnett to go 1v1 with a bit of pace. He's not from a standing start, and his quality, we know all about it. And Ollie Palmer makes a great run. He's the one that makes it, and he gets across the front post. Sometimes you don't get it, but you're putting somebody across the front of it, which puts somebody else off.
Now here's O'Connell under pressure as well. Taylor was all over him, and he's got it back to Howard. Yeah, Palmer then made a great run, but took the swing, didn't make contact, and that was unfortunate. Great work by Barnett to chase Sessegnon down. Sessegnon has managed to get it behind a goal kick, but he had about a 60-yard head start on Barnett. Herring down the flank. He's encouraged after that last cross as well. Wants to get involved more in the game. He's just had a little moment of promise and he wants to get back involved in it straight away. Short corners are, the setup for the short goal kick, but Tickle's run up suggests otherwise. Crowd start to get a little fractious and Tickle does step up and hit it long left-footed. Again, there's Taylor coming back from that offside position. Good header by O'Connell. Palmer looking to touch it on, but Civic gets a touch to it. And now it's the midfielder, Smith, working it backwards. Tickle, again, launching it long. This time it's not accurate. Mullin and Palmer both tried to charge him down in midfield. Asgard's done really well on the stretch to bring that down. But then Rathbone's done really well to win it back. Ball goes back to Howard by James. Good little touch by Howard and he missed his clearance. And luckily for Wrexham, it didn't A, slice into his own net, and B, Taylor couldn't quite get there to keep it in the 6-yard box. Hairy moment for Mark Howard, that.
Well, the ball into Matty James. If he's on the half turn, he's able to play Dobson, who's in a bit of space. But he goes back towards his keeper. Mark's first touch isn't great. And then he swings at it. Swats it around the post.
That could easily have just spun back into his net. Ball swept into the far post dangerously. And another chance. And somehow there wasn't a decisive touch at the finish as Civic attacked it. He wanted a penalty. And then Mullin is manhandled. That's daft by Sessegnon. The ref is determined not to give yellows out, mind. But if he's given that, the ball was massively overhit. Mullin had no chance of getting there. Sessegnon just grabbed hold of him and kept him still.
Well, I don't know how he hasn't scored either around the back post. It looks like he's got goal side of his man. And he's maybe McLean just eases him out the way a little bit with a push. Puts him off enough for him not to head it goalwards, but it's a real opportunity. He's just missed it.
Yeah, he just seems to have arrived a bit too soon. It's the back of his head and goes away from goal. He's sticking his left foot up behind him as well, as if he's going to play it with that. Anyway, here's the Wrexham free kick, and McLean heads it into the box, headed clear though by Kerr on a stretch. It's brought down nicely by Rathbone. Now here's Brunt, purposeful first touch. Finds Dobson, who's managed to lay it off to Cleworth under pressure. Again, Smith pressuring him. Cleworth stands up the diagonal, under hit though, easy clearance for Civic, but he's given it straight to Brunt. And Brunt, cute little drag back and then accelerates forwards. He finds Palmer, edge of the D, back to Brunt. He can go wide. He finds Barnett. Barnett drills it in. And it's nobody can get a touch again. That's a great ball there, and Mullin lunged at it in front of goal. Couldn't get the touch from 3 yards out.
Well, better play. Brunt being brave on the ball, plays it into Ollie Palmer. Ollie Palmer strong on the edge of the box, holds it in and waits for Brunt. You think Brunt's going to take a shot, but he rolls it in. Fantastic cross in that corridor and just can't get there to tap it in.
Yeah, Ryan Barnett can't do much more in that position. He's put it exactly where you want it as an attacking player. And just can't, like Andy says, just no one can't quite get that little toe on it.
Here's McLean now lifting it towards the edge of the area. Palmer beaten in the air. Cleworth's after this as well to get it back into midfield as Taylor's trying to get there. And Taylor could have sent Olakibbe away, but Dobson intercepts, and now it's Barnett again. We're getting Barnett in the game, and that's only going to be a good thing for Wrexham. He's got a chance now to take on session. Good run by Dobson. Barnett using his DK, cuts into the box. Will he shoot? He does. Deflection. It's in! The pressure was telling. Barnett getting more and more involved, and a left-footed drive by Barnett gives Wrexham the lead. Well, like I say, it's always a good thing when Barnett gets into the game, and he's certainly illustrated that there.
Well, it's the run from Dobson that creates him the space. Sessegnon doesn't know whether to cut it off, stay with his man, and that enables Ryan Barnett to drive into the box. Doesn't get a sweet enough hit on it, but it's enough to go put it goal bound, and a little deflection just puts the keeper off balance, and it rolls into that far corner.
Well, a few minutes ago he put one on the plate, no one took it, so he thinks, right, I need to do this myself. And boy, does he take that opportunity. I think it's going on target before the deflection. It is quite a big deflection in the end, I think, but well done, Ryan Barnett.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like I say, Sessegnon in two minds. Barnett doesn't need a second invitation. And once he gets past him, there's a lot of space for him to attack in that penalty area. Dobson had pulled Olakibbe with him, and the deflection came off Aimson. And yeah, it's definitely on target. It's spun into the bottom left corner. Nothing Tickle can do about that, but Barnett, 3 big interventions in the space of about 5 minutes. He's come into this game and then some. And Wrexham have got a very precious lead. Mind you, if we've learnt anything over the last hour, it's that this Wigan team's tasty. And this game's got a lot more going to happen before Wrexham can claim that precious win.
I think his ref's just booked somebody as well. I'm not sure who.
Well, Barnett ran it out for a goal kick from the restart. The ref gave the throw to Wigan. There must have been some dissent. Barnett, I think it is. Looking at the yellow card as the cross comes in from Wigan. It's intercepted. Mullin back to the interceptor. James plays a lovely ball down the right now. Early ball in for Mullin isn't the kindest from Dobson, and Mullin can't receive it. Yeah, it looked like it was Barnett who received the yellow then. The ref was quite a long way away from him. It's well won by Brunt. He's done well today. In the end, he overruns it though. He tried to drive past Weir, and now he's chasing the ball in midfield. Matty James has dropped back. So is McLean to cover as Brunt is making his way back. Olakibbe taking on Barnett, chips it nicely into the far post. McLean is there to head it away. Shot by Sibic is a decent strike, but about a foot wide of the left post. Brought it down and hit it on the drop. Wow.
Well, we're not too far from behind that one, looking straight down the barrel of it. And Sibic hits it really sweet, and it's dipping into that far corner. Mia thinks it's going in next to me. And thankfully, Mark Howard just watches it fly by his post on the wrong side. But sweet hit volley.
Yeah, well done McLean as well, getting to that first cross, because of course Brunt was a long way up the pitch and trying to get back into position. But McLean covered. Goal kick taken. It's headed partly away by Aimson. Rathbone scrapping. Oscardo gets a foot to it. Rathbone's there again. Sweeps it wide. Barnett brings it down nicely. Unlucky. He looked to stab it quickly into Palmer, got it wrong. And now Smith feeding it between the lines, space for Oscar, 4 against 3 breakaway. He can go either way here or hit it himself. Works it wide. Johnny Smith plays it back in and behind all his teammates. Wasted opportunity. Olakibbe's recovery pace allows him to get to the loose ball ahead of Barnett, but Wrexham have got bodies back now. Smith could have hit that, decided to cross and put it behind everyone. Olakibbe now sweeps the cross in once more. Again, McLean gets up, only half clears. Good block by O'Connell. Heavy touch then on the edge of the box by Sibic. Wrexham hack it clear, but Wigan again penning Wrexham in. Olakibbe again running up Barnett. Goes on the outside this time. Barnett gets a good foot in. Corner Wigan, as you might expect from what we've seen so far, responding well to going behind. But
he's got really good pace, hasn't he? Out on that left wing. Olakigbe. Ryan Barnett, tough day at the office today. But Cleworth and himself have had a real good go at it.
Well, here comes Ian Swinger again from the left-hand side. We're going to have a player on the keeper and a crowd around the 6-yard box. Swept in nicely and headed back across the face of goal. Rathbone helps it partly away. And a McLean completes the clearance, hooking it down the line. And Mullen looking to use his pace, wrestling away. Yeah, fouls his man. Mullen and the fans are furious. For me, I thought Smith did very well there. Just run across Mullen's path and force Mullen to try and pull him back. And Mullen did enough for me to concede the free kick. And now he needs to be careful. He doesn't do enough to get bucked for dissent.
Yeah, I agree. Sometimes you have to doff your cap. Smith, really good. Gets his body in the way, uses his arms well.
Sibic was booked there for heaven knows what, as Wrexham deal with a long ball.
I think
in the
it was
box.
Parky.
Oh, was it? Oh, beg your pardon.
Booked Parky. He was on the pitch. He virtually played the ball forward.
Silko Thomas ready to come on for Wigan, as Wrexham knock it long, asking too much of Mullen. Yeah, that does make a lot more sense. As McLean steps in, can't win it though. Johnny Smith works it to Taylor and he tries to help her on quickly. Barnett makes an important interception. A player of Barnett's pace stretched by the speed of Olakigbe, but he went to ground and got there. And it's knocked long by Howard. Palmer flicks it on well, but there's no one beyond him. Mullen's not been able to get close enough. And still Thomas waits to come on. Attacking change by Wigan. Wrexham dropping off into that mid-block then, as Seb Revan goes to warm up. Yeah, his pace might be handy. Barnett was slow getting up then as well after that sprint back. The ball on the right-hand side, Johnny Smith. Good block by Rathbone. The ball ricochets the edge of the box. Matty James heads it partly away. Palmer helps run intelligently. Now, Dobson driving forward. 2-on-2 break. He goes wide for Mullen, but he doesn't get it right. Aimson stretches and clears. And now, wow, this game's so stretched. Sessignon driving forward. Olakigbe takes over. Another chance to run at Barnett. Cleworth in support. Sessignon's on the outside. He comes out the outside and Dobson tackles him well. And now Cleworth, well, he has it. He thinks that somebody's making the run outside and they're not. It's a throw-in. Chance of Thomas to come in. So a sign that Barnett's a little tired after that sprint, and he's not made that run around the outside.
Yeah, a real opportunity for Dobson to get that right out to Mullen. But good defending. And they're back on the attack. Barnett just sat down, taking a minute.
Yeah,
that's why he wasn't where that pass was.
There you go. Yeah, but after that run, when he went to ground to cover a run by Olakigbe about a minute or two ago, he was very slow getting up. And yeah, hopefully this is just taking the sting out of things, but he did look either like he'd felt something or he was exhausted. He didn't look quite right. I noticed as well, by the way, after the goal, Matty James just ran over to the bench and the physio just spent a short amount of time with him. Well, Elliot Lee is coming on as Wigan come across to get some instruction. And Stephen Fletcher is getting prepared as well. So Wrexham getting ready for a double change. I mean, I wouldn't have thought Barnett's part of that equation. Let's see if maybe we'll take off the front two and freshen things up with Lee able to make that extra man in midfield. They're both ready to come on.
Well, he does love a 70-minute substitution, does Parky. It's fairly set in stone that the front two come off for the two on the bench. Only very rarely does he deviate from that. I would have thought that would be the switch, unless Lee comes on for maybe Dobson.
At the moment, Barnett's been treated. The subs haven't come on yet. Like I say, Silko Thomas has for Johnny Smith, the ex-Wrexham player, who looked very threatening, especially early on. There wasn't maybe enough end product from him compared to Olakigbe, who's been a real menace.
Yeah, and he swapped wings now. Thomas gone onto that left-hand side. Olakigbe on this right. Maybe different challenge up against McLean.
Yeah, that's interesting, that, isn't it? I always feel like when a player's doing as well as Ola Kigbe has been, you want to keep him there and carry on doing it, but you never know. He might do just what he needs. Certainly McLean was robust. Not as fast as Barnett. Here it is, Ola Kigbe feeding it back. McLean gets a little reducer on him as the ball's going. And now Wrexham pressing hard. That's good work by Mullen. He's unlucky. It drops to Weir in midfield. Good tackle in by Rathbone, though. Wigan will have to go backwards to control possession as they switch it over to the left-hand side. Arsgaard has been really comfortable on the ball. Stands up a big diagonal. That's a great ball to Ola Kigbe, but he's offside. And Wrexham will be glad that McLean didn't have to be isolated there. He kicked the ball away, which the Wrexham fans say should be a booking. I don't reckon you time waste when you're losing at this situation. And now here comes the substitutions. Fletcher comes on for Palmer, predictably. And it is indeed Mullen who will be replaced by Lee. No surprises really there.
No, I don't think so. Fresh in the front lineup. 2 games in quick succession. Elliot Lee chomping at the bit. Fletcher scored on the Boxing Day. I really like the look of Arsgaard though. Fantastic footballer. Really good balance. Looks positive, quick, lively in that 10, just behind the striker.
Yeah, he's got a Norwegian under 21 international. Wasn't so successful here last season though, Mia, was he?
Correct, he was the one that missed the penalty
yeah.
in the Carabao Cup.
Fletcher gets it really well, heads it on. It'll go for a throw by the corner flag. So Wigan will have to make their way out from their own half.
Well, Fletcher and Palmer, they offered 2 different methods of how you flick on a ball. Fletcher likes to run, jump off 1 foot, go across your man and flick it on. Whereas Palmer's a little bit more brawn. He holds the player off, he'll hold his ground and pick the flight of it up really early to flick it on. So again, something else for the Wigan back 2 to think about with Fletcher coming on.
They're the Marvin Andrews and Mark Crichton of attacking. I'm not going to get going about Marvin Andrews' big run-ups for heading the ball again. This is great to watch. O'Connell lifts it long down the line. Fletcher gets up, it goes beyond him and Kerr. And on the cover, Aimson launches it down the flank. Good take by the kickback. Brunt's tight to him though, and Rathbone tackles. Little unlucky perhaps to get the free kick, but it goes Wigan's way, right-hand side, tight to the touchline. Fletcher standing in the way of Civic, who passes it backwards anyway. Referee just tells Fletcher, don't do that again, mate. Wigan have got another attacking change lined up. The young Man United, Loney, Hugel, and Callum McManaman, beg your pardon. So experience and youth. As the ball's not long through the middle. And Howard handles that, despite a disconcerted murmur from the crowd. I don't understand why people were scared by that. But I got to say, that's the first time Wigan have hit such a pointless straight ball over the top, isn't it? Which hopefully shows that they're getting something right. Fletcher comes across, try and get to that ball. Elliot Lee's in the way of, well, first Aimson, but then Fletcher, frankly. And now it's Thomas's first chance to show what he's got. He goes driving through the middle. Wow, what a tackle by Dobson, who turns 360 degrees, and James does well to get a foot of Barnett, rather, to get the foot in. The ball fed across to Rathbone. Wrexham get a free kick in midfield, which they'll be pleased with, I think, because just had the chance to restart the game. And here come the changes. So Hugel up front, like I said, a striker on loan from Man United. McManaman, of course, a player with lots of experience. So it's Taylor who goes off, probably a... Or is it? No, beg your pardon. Sessegnon has come off, the left back. And is that Ola Kigbe coming off too?
Yep.
No, it's not Taylor, he just went over for instruction.
Yep.
Wow.
Ola Kigbe has come off. I thought they'd give him a little bit longer at McLean.
Well, yeah, absolutely. He was surprised because he'd gone to cover left back for Sessegnon when Sessegnon went off, and then suddenly he sees his number. Let's see how that pans out. And Hugel certainly is taller than Taylor up front if they want to go direct. As the free kick's taken, Fletcher flicks it on. Barnett can't get to it. Good header by Cleworth again. Fletcher, though, turns into trouble. Wins the throw off Weir. So, yeah, Hugel certainly up front. And then
Yeah, it looks like Taylor's probably dropped into that 10. I think Scott Smith in the middle's gone out to left back by the looks of things.
As Wrexham look to test that side of the fence, Fletcher, good flick on Lee now. Holding off his man. That's good strength by Lee by the corner flag. He's done well. He finds Barnett. Barnett shifts feet, drills in the cross, and it's corner. Is it? Looked like it, yeah. Again, Barnett then getting balls into the box.
It's Fletcher winning that first ball, though. He's won a couple already since he's come on. Different way of flicking it on, and Lee read it, was able to hold it up in that corner, and then gives Barnett the chance to put the cross in. Slight deflection, and just obviously bows round over that baseline into the keeper's arms.
What a pub the keeper's arms is, I've got to say. Great atmosphere. Now then, McLean with the in-swing, a big crowd in the 6-yard box. Fletcher battling away with Sibic. It's swept and under the bar. Keeper scrambles and just gets enough on it to force it out to the left flank. Cleworth will retrieve it. Feeds it backwards. Dobson winds himself up. First time cross is overhit and goes behind for the goal kick. But yeah, Tickle coming through a crowd then. Just got enough on it. It's a full stretch, and he's a big lad to push it partly away.
Well, I think he does well in the end. We've seen that James McLean corner catch a few keepers out as of late, but he does well to get a big hand on it in the end. Really dives out for it. And then Dobson just can't get that second ball right.
We can't let that go without Mr. Tickle Arms coming out, can we?
Quite right. And that is the end of all football commentating. It has achieved its peak. Goodbye, everyone. Oh, that's good. As Fletcher battles but can only flick it into the arms of Mr. Tickle, yeah.
Well, McLean annoyed then that Rathbone's gone backwards because he's got Akers this side. When it does go into that middle of midfield, that's the out ball. It's a little flick round the corner to McLean, and we've gone backwards to go forwards, and there's no need.
15 minutes still left of this match. Wrexham leading through Ryan Barnett's deflected goal. Wigan having made changes now to freshen up their side. Of Thomas, one of the subs on the left, dragging back two men with him and then pulling it into midfield. Cross comes in with height. Oscard's underneath it. Brunt heads it partly away. Put back into the danger area though. Cleworth just about gets it clear, and James thumps it at the halfway line where a slip presents Wrexham with the ball. Dobson is waiting, looking for support. Rolls it round the corner for Lee on the halfway line. Right flank. Oh, he's caught from behind there. Free kick. Aimson, I think he's booked him. I'm not sure whether Aimson actually just slipped into him. It didn't look good though, the way he hit him from behind.
No, Lee does well because he reads where Amoson's trying to nick the ball from, gets his body in between ball and man. Amoson has only one choice really, is to just drag him down.
Yeah, I think I was being a bit generous to him, to be fair. Free kick then on the halfway line, stood up by Cleworth. Fletcher jumps. It's a good header clear by Kerr though. And a loose ball is picked up by McManaman, who goes down after he gone past Rathbone, and the ref says no chance. Lee, heavy first touch as he looks to turn Scott Smith. And it's well won back now by Rathbone, who goes driving forwards. Lee's outside him, only Fletcher in the box. Lee on the left, little step over his cute. Sibic tight to him. McLean now. Back to the halfway line. Brunt. Again, positive first touch, and he drives beyond Hugel and cuts it inside McManaman as well. And then floats a beautiful ball to Barnett. Barnett up against Smith. Stands the ball in. Far post. Brunt's after it. Heads it up in the air. And it goes just wide, although the keeper had it covered. Great work by Brunt. And again, Barnett delivering.
Well, just so comfortable on the ball when he steps in there. Everybody expects him to pass it, but he just takes a little couple, takes two players out of the game, and then picks the right pass. Lovely little ball out to Barnett, and then he carries on. Just gets a little bit under the cross and heads it up just over the bar though.
Here now come Wrexham again. It's been a good little spell this since those substitutions by Wigan. Wrexham with the team asking the questions. And it's a long clearance by Howard. Nobody's going to be able to challenge for that. And it bounced harmlessly through to Tickle, whose name I now can't say without firstly thinking about what you said earlier, Andy. 12 minutes left now. Wigan moving it around between the centre-backs. And Wrexham are happy to see it there. Ball's fed into the halfway line, and Hugel has time to turn. Works it wide. Thomas now running at Cleworth down the left flank.
Wrexham are getting bodies back quickly. Cross comes into a good area. Important interception. It drops loose, and McLean did really well there to challenge and make sure there wasn't a free header on goal. The ball's lashed away by Wrexham into the Wigan half, so Wrexham can get their shape back. The Wigan moving it around as Andy Cannon gets a round of applause as he goes to warm up. It's helped on by Smith. Thomas now receives it from Taylor and stands a nasty ball in. It's there. Now Wrexham say handball, are they? Well, it's only Brunt who's arguing that. And it's an equaliser for Wigan. The Wrexham will be disappointed in that. Thomas getting that ball into the centre of the 6-yard box. Nobody could get there first. Oh yeah, free header. Brunt's asking for offside actually, but it certainly doesn't look it. And it's Hugill, the substitute, who strikes.
Yeah, really good striker's instinct from Hugill. Just finds that space relatively easily, really, in the end. I think Brunt will look back at it and probably be quite disappointed with his position and just gets caught out. But from a Wrexham point of view, you've got to be massively unhappy with that goal. I think Wigan will probably feel like they deserve something from this game. And they've just been missing that final touch when they have got into dangerous areas, but they've brought Hugill on. Natural goal scorer, has got bags full of goals for Manchester United's academy, and he's just got his 3rd in League One.
Yeah.
It's a great ball in. Well, the passage of play just before it, really good movement by the Wigan forwards. Taylor going higher and Hugill dropping in. Wrexham unable to deal with that. And then 1v1, unable to stop the cross, first and foremost. But like you said, gambles on it.
I mean, it's a lovely cross in. It's an easy finish for Hugill. You're looking at the replays. Okay, I'm starting to ask a little bit about offside, but it's more about Wrexham's defensive ability to pick players up as Fletcher is nudged in the back, wins a free kick on the right flank. Oh, yeah, linesman gave it to Wrexham, didn't he? Yeah. Wigan tried to take the free kick. So it's an attacking position, this. The Wigan fans are making all the noise as Rathbone goes across to take this free kick. Yeah, Cleworth's gone across to cover with Barnett for Thomas. O'Connell just has a run across him by Taylor, which just drags him out a little bit, and then there's that space between him and Brunt. Brunt looking across the goal, doesn't pick up Hugill in time, and it's a very close range header. Here's Wrexham now with this free kick. Rathbone to put it into the box. Everyone back for Wigan. The referee gives the go ahead. Rathbone sweeps it with height towards the far post. Keeper's coming. Takes that well. He's got nobody to hit, but that's okay. You can just take his time.
No, and that's something you can say. There's a lot of time still left to play in this game. So it's not time to panic or anything. Wrexham can still absolutely get something. Well, they can get all 3. It's just, again, I think set piece, just maybe taking the wrong option, just decides to float it in. I just think, can you get a bit of pace on that ball, make it much harder for Sam Tickle to get his hands on it?
Wigan go long. Brunt gets up really well. Looked like a nudge in James's back, but he carries on and wins a good second header. Lee can't quite keep it in, though. 8 minutes left. Andy Cannon going back into the dugout. Phil Parkins and Steve Parkin and Aidan Davidson are in conference. Are they going to work another change? Oscar gets the ball back from Sibic, and then Rathbone is monstering the full-back. He just about managed to turn in time before Lee can arrive to add to the pressure. And Wigan have opened the game up here with Aimson working it across to the left-hand side. Thomas is available down the line for Smith, who goes back into his own half instead. Here is Smith on his right foot, lifting it inaccurately. Cleworth knocks it down. Ref in the way, but still good work to get there by Matty James. And that's a good ball out from the back by O'Connell. Now Dobson standing the early diagonal for Fletcher, who jumps Chester down beautifully. Lee unlucky, tried to take it. Very difficult challenge and couldn't quite take it. Crowd today, another 13,000 plus. 13,332. And again, another good following for the away team. 1,268 have come from Wigan.
It's 2 good crowds, isn't it? Over the busy Christmas period. Lucky to have 2 home games.
But here's danger. Oscar over the top, and McManaman was in his own half, so he's onside. He's got 2 players up in support as he runs at Brunt, tries to go around the outside. He goes down in the box. Ref's not interested. Worth asking the question. Not saying it was a pen. Fowler's getting ready to come on. There was bodily contact. I don't think Brunt pushed him quite enough as Lee. Good strength that on the halfway line. Back to Matty James, but a scary moment then for Wrexham.
Well, again, it's really good play by Wigan. Theo Asgard again at the heart of it, just gets his head up, spots Callum McManaman.
As Dobson is pulled down and the referee's got a decision to make now. What colour card is it? I'd say yellow. Dobson driving through the middle. I think he's got that right, to be fair. There's another centre-back covering. Aimson on a... Hang on. That can't be Aimson. Oh, that's Aimson who's going to complain. Beg your pardon to the linesman about... Well, I'm not sure what about. Wasn't offside. Not a red for me, though.
No, it looked like there was the pair of them. It's Weir that just got the wrong side of Dobson. Dobson's forward run. Lovely little flick from Fletcher. Well, he's not completely covered round, but referee's decision. It's another brilliant position for a free kick.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. I was agreed with you, Mark. I thought it was an absolute stonewall yellow, but looking at the replay, I don't know. I think if Dobson gets a touch on it, I think he... yeah, I'm not sure.
I think it's more convention. Refs just don't tend to, if a defender's that close, whether he's going to make the cover or not. The rule didn't say that. Anyway, free kick. Fletcher will take it. Just outside the D. Fletcher steps up left footed, clips it. Oh, just wide. I really thought he'd found the top corner with that. Lovely contact, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think the keeper takes a step, then bends to his knee because he knows that he's just not going to get there, even if it goes the right side of the post. And Fletcher with his head in his hands as it just goes wide.
Lovely little flipped free kick over the wall. So O'Connell gets up, good header by O'Connell, comes back in again off the head of Weir. Cleworth heads it forwards. Fletcher's a heroic diving header to try and flick it wide to Barnett, but it drops the wrong side of him. Throw in. Fowler's getting final instructions from Steve Parkin. He was very lively, wasn't he, when he came on Boxing Day. Ball driven over the top and something there for Thomas to chase, but he's offside. Good job too, it was a good pass. Now that's a yellow card. Surely Thomas kicked the ball away. The ref hasn't done it.
Ref's deleted that rule from his brain today because it's happened 3 or 4 times today, and he's just, I suppose after the first one you can't just start booking people.
Yeah. So Howard with the free kick. Farl and Revan are going to come on, but not yet. Long ball towards Fletcher's overhit McLean. The bounce just defeated him. It goes over his head. Throw in, which Civic will take, level the edge of the area. And here now comes that double change. 3 minutes left. Rathbone is coming off. And so, well, actually Lee is getting some instruction, which unless we're going to go to the flat back 4.
No, I think Lee just drops in
I
to the
thought he just
Rathbone
drop
position.
In, yeah. And Barnett's coming off, Revan coming on. So Wrexham make that late double change. 3 minutes left. Can they make a difference? Throw in to Wigan. Civic, the Ugandan international, throws to the halfway line. Brunt can't get there, but neither can Hugel. And O'Connell feeds it back. Long kick by Howard. It's foul underneath that. Wins a great header, but it can't quite pick up Fletcher. Awkward little moment for Kerr, who flicks it back to the keeper. The crowd think it's a back pass. I think it more hit him than anything else, isn't it?
You're allowed to throw it back to your keeper.
Yeah, fair
that's why he did it.
Here come Wigan down the left-hand side. And immediately Wrexham put some pressure on. Dobson high up the pitch. Driven forwards by Tickle as a result. Brunt jumps. McManaman now jumps him. Great header that. And it's picked up by Oscar. A rare heavy touch. It was a difficult one. And now O'Connell with a cute ball into a crowded midfield. Lee does well just to calm matters down. And it goes back to O'Connell.
Just over 90 seconds plus added time left. Cleworth, as Thomas runs at him, goes back to Howard, who drills it long. This time it's Fletcher looking to win the header, and he does. It's dropping behind Farl. In fact, for Fletcher, brings down beautifully. Finds the edge of the D. McLean, left-hand side, hits the shot, overhits it horribly. I think it was a shot. It was nowhere near anything useful anyway. It's a goal kick.
Well played Fletcher again. Wins his own flick on and then brings it down. Gets Elliot Lee on the ball to bring McLean on it, and you just expect better, don't you? He's in a really good position. I don't think Mo Farl really helps him. Does he make a run, get across his man? Just to get across that near post. And he just has to flash it. Flashes it way high and wide.
Well, you just hope it's not the last chance of the game really for Wrexham, but it is a big one. And like Andy says, just for once doesn't quite get that ball right at all.
Good ball out of the back from Brunt. And Lee, good vision, looking for Revan. He'll have to use all that pace. No, just too far ahead of him. Can't make it. And we're into the last minute. Wigan, like I said, for me, comfortably the best sides who've come to the racecourse this season. And they've come from behind. Can Wrexham, can either side grab the winner? Ball works wide to Brunt. And now it's O'Connell chipping it straight. Fletcher is the target. Does he foul this man? Ref says no, and Lee picks it up and finds McLean. 3 players at the far post. He drills it in towards Fletcher, who chests it down nicely. Hits it! Yes! Stephen Fletcher! Straight as an arrow! And what a celebration! He's running the length of the bench along the Macron stand. Wow, that was a great finish. Took it on the chest, squeezes it between Tickle and the right-hand post as it drops. You know what? He's quite good off the bench, isn't he?
Well, exactly that. He was the hero on Boxing Day. He's just done it again today. Just as we thought, the game was slipping away. It was going to be a point. But no, Stephen Fletcher's there again. Does so well. Such good technique. You can just tell he's played at the top level. Great finish.
He's got no right, really. The cross is just hung up at the back post. You're thinking Revan is going to be the one that comes onto it at the back post, but Fletcher's gives himself room, brings it down on his chest. He's going away from goal, and he just hooks it back towards goal. Bottom corner, keeper wrong-footed, and hits the bottom corner. There's your man 2 in 2.
Not bad at all, that, is it? Blinking heck. Well, it's 3 in 3 in home games, isn't it? Cambridge, then Blackpool, and now Wigan. Wow, what an impact Fletcher's had since coming back from injury. As now Wigan, I didn't see how long was added, because it was put up as Fletcher was hitting it. 6 minutes, thank you. So here's McManaman now. Oh, McLean's gone right through him, and has got to be booked for that. So that's 4 consecutive games he's been booked in, a sequence interrupted by a suspension for getting too many bookings.
Well, it's a fabulous ball out and a fabulous touch by McManaman. But then McLean sees his opportunity. Doesn't get it right at all. And it's a yellow.
He was certainly committed, wasn't he? Free kick then. Great position for Wigan. The Wrexham fans making noise now. But this is a dangerous moment. We're to take it. We had 2 of the 6 added minutes.
There's a big hole at the near post. I'd like Matty James to take a couple of steps this way.
Swept in and over Lee's head. Now Wrexham could break. O'Connor, that's a good pass. Farl breaks onto it. Revan and McLean keeping up with him. 3 on 3. Wigan's midfield getting back quickly. Farl, after that attempt to play a pass on Boxing Day, is more careful on the ball this time and rolls it to the corner where it's held up really well in there. And ultimately Revan, he's still fighting with it. It's a goal kick, I think, yeah. Well, after Farl's attempted switch / shot / attempt to smash a bus window on the Mould Road last Boxing Day, did well there.
You only ask him to learn, don't you? Yeah. And that's exactly what he's done there.
Big goal kick from Tickle. Hilgel with an unchallenged flick on. There's no one beyond him and he didn't make contact in the end. Brunt thumps it away when Howard was screaming at him to leave it. And now the ball works across to Smith, who lifts it over the top. Brunt read that well, finds Lee in space and he accepts it and goes running at Sibic. He's looking to Draw men to him before bringing it back adroitly to McLean. He stands a big diagonal, falls after that. Good header away that by Kerr on the cover. Wigan driving down the left. They will not give this up. 3.5 minutes of the added 6 played. Now it's Eamson. Oh, this is edgy. Sibic into the centre circle. A little bit of space for Weir. He works it wide. Smith coming down the left. Thomas now, but that beautiful assist in. Fowles come back, but can't stop him running forwards. Body check, is it? No, Thomas went down too easily. Dobson, a player, made contact, and then Revan feeds a ball down the flank, which is frankly designed to allow Dobson to put pressure on the ball, and Kerr does well to hold him off and get it back to his keeper.
Well, I thought, could he just not play it into Dobson's feet?
Yeah.
I don't know why he's made him chase for it, but Dobson does really well. Great intensity from him, right in the dying embers still. Brilliant.
And Brunt wins a free kick, going up early as well, so Wrexham are happy with that. We've had 4.5 minutes. Do you want a Stephen Fletcher fact? Only one player has scored more goals at the racecourse as a substitute than him, and that's Steve Buxton back in the 80s. He's level of Adrian Cieslewicz. He scored 6 goals as a sub here at the racecourse.
He has that little bit of quality, doesn't he? We mentioned it at half time that we thought the quality level in our final third was a little bit lower than the standards that they've hit before. But 2 pieces of magic have helped turn this game for us.
Well, Howard eventually takes the kick. Fletcher can't get contact on it, but it was smart from both Fletcher and Howard. Fletcher offering right on the wing, and so it goes out for a throw-in and slows things down a bit more. There should be more time added on than the 6, but we are 30 seconds short of the 6 minutes that were indicated. But the goal came right at the start of added time, and there have been a couple of stoppages as well. Good first touch by McManaman. Oh, has he caught his man? No, everyone stopped, and the referee belatedly gives the free kick. That was a strange one. James has gone down and will stay down whether he's hurt or not. It was an odd one, that, because both sides stopped themselves. And the ref didn't blow his whistle until, well, maybe he wanted to play advantage. He tells Howard to hurry up and come out to take the kick. Didn't know that referees decide who takes free kicks these days, but hey, he's got a point though. We're over the 6 added minutes now. Fletcher this time hasn't gone for the big diagonal, and Howard stands it down the left flank for Fletcher. Will contest this. Wow, hit the back of Kerr's head and ricochets away. Sibic knocks it long. We've had half a minute extra on top of the added 6 as O'Connell launches it out for a throw in a halfway, and ref looks at his watch. Dobson is asking him the question.
Yeah, I think we've seen enough, haven't we, ref?
I reckon. Tickle is offering. It's played long and it's mishit. Lucky it falls to Smith, who helps her on now. Here's Thomas. Chance to run at Revan, who's isolated. Revan commits. Thomas checks back, then goes back around the outside again. Dobson, great tackle. He's had a good game. Corner, and Tickle, the keeper, not an order, is going up to challenge for this. Every player in and around the Wrexham box. This is it. 7 minutes of added time played.
Well, Stephen Fletcher, you're the free man. Go and head this out your box.
In swinger, the signal is given. Ripped in, under the bar, headed away by Matty James. Foul breaks away, and the referee blows for full time. That, as Parkinson springs out of the starting blocks to applaud the fans, that shows how much it means to him and to us. That was a massive win in a game where Wigan certainly gave as good as they got.
Yeah, massive 3 points. Had to show a lot of grit, a lot of resilience. Thought Wigan came here with a really good game plan, stuck to it really well. You know, I think they'll be really disappointed to be leaving here with absolutely nothing. But they put on a really good performance. I thought maybe they, should have got something out of this game, but Wrexham stuck in there, all did their jobs really well, and then, like we said, just we're missing that bit of quality going forward. And Stephen Fletcher, yet again, comes on and does the business.
Really difficult game, really difficult obstacle in our way, and we've overcome it. They find a way, this football team, somehow. Sometimes they're not at their best, but as a group they dig deep, they dig in, and with a little bit of quality that they have, a little bit, I should say a lot of quality that they have in their depth, it can be somebody else's day, not necessarily the first 11, and it's happened so many times. And this team just, like I said, find a way of winning here. And I feel for Wigan really, because I think they probably deserve something out of the game to take home with them, but this Wrexham team at home, their form is just frightening.
Oh, absolutely. And they are a team that never knows when they're beaten. And looking at the current latest scores, we are standing to be the only team in the top 5 who actually win. Because Birmingham are still 0-0 with Blackpool, according to the website I'm on. It's the second minute of added time. Huddersfield are drawing 1-1 at home to Burton, believe it or not, in the 6th minute of added time. But, well, Wigan are rightly being given a tribute by their fans, because I know I've said this throughout, but by some distance, Wigan are the best team who've come here this season. They have really come at Wrexham. They had great intensity, which they maintained for most of the match. The first half hour was all Wigan. I can't help wondering if the loss of Babaradiko to injury just hurt them a little bit. I didn't feel that Jensen Weir made the same impact getting forwards and supporting the attacking players. And whether it's coincidence or not, that was the point I felt where Wrexham started to get into the match. It was the first half of few chances, although Brunt made a ludicrously good clearance from under his bar early on to deny the opportunity for an early goal. And Wigan, if they have one real complaint about the performance, it's surely that they didn't make as many chances as their approach play deserved. Wrexham improved in the second half, no question about that, but still it was a tough battle. In the 60th minute though, we took the lead with an element of good fortune. Barnett linking with Dobson, who made a great overlapping run to drag a man with him. Barnett took advantage of the fact that Sessegnon was isolated for once, cut inside. He was allowed space because of Dobson's run, and he hit a left-footed shot which was on target but probably would have been saved by Tickle. But it took a deflection off Aimson and span cruelly into the bottom left corner. Wrexham followed that up with a decent spell, and Barnett ripped a couple of good crosses in either side of his goal, which first Palmer missed as he tried to swing a foot at it, and then Mullin just couldn't quite reach in front of a virtual open goal. But Wigan came back. Great chance at the far post, missed by Sibic from a set piece when he seemed to just misjudge his run, arrived too soon, and it came off the top of his head and away. Johnny Smith pulled a cross back in when they had men over behind everybody when he maybe should have shot himself. And Wrexham, well, we're hoping that maybe they'd cleaned it out, seen it out, but this Wigan side were not to be underestimated. A great cross by the substitute Thomas finds Hugill, who'd managed to find space in the 6-yard box. A simple, close-range header for him. And Wigan were equal with 11 minutes left. However, there was still drama to come. Stephen Fletcher, on off the bench, was causing problems. Weir tested the referee's judgment in giving a yellow rather than a red after Fletcher had sent Dobson charging through the middle. Fletcher hit a free kick narrowly wide in the closing minutes, and then in the first of 6 added minutes scored the winner. Fletcher again off the bench. Only one player, Steve Buxton, has scored more goals as a substitute at the racecourse than Fletcher. He picked the ball up from McLean's cross, took it beautifully on his chest, and as it dropped, drilled it inside the near post of Tickle, unable to get across in time. That's 7 goals that Fletcher has scored as a substitute for Wrexham now, 6th most in our history. More importantly, it earns a really hard-fought win against the Wigan side, who shows why they've got such a good away record. But Wrexham have got that terrific home record, and a lot of it is based on belief, isn't it? When Wrexham get into a game like this, where the opposition is asking questions and it gets into the closing stages, this is a Wrexham side that believes it'll get a goal, and they did again. A magnificent result for Wrexham. Let's have a quick look. Oh, I don't want to look at the
latest scores. Birmingham 0-0 in the 6th minute. Huddersfield have drawn with Burton. And yeah, Birmingham against Blackpool 0-0 is in the 6th minute of added time. So if that one goes Wrexham's way, what a day it will have been for us. We'll be in 2nd place, but equal top. Let's not get too carried away. It's not even 2025 yet, but what a 2024 we've had. And let's hope the next year goes just as well for us. With the final score of Wrexham 2, Wigan Athletic 1, we've been Mark Griffiths, Andy Morrell and Mia Roberts from Wrexham AFC.